You don't want that
Hello,
pressure.
everybody.
Tisk,
Welcome.
tisk,
Ismail
tisk.
says my body is ready. But is your brain,
I'm not sure.
is your mind
anybody can be
prepared
for this?
for the havoc that is about to ensue?
Yeah.
You're not ready.
It only gets worse from here, boys.
We have a caffeinated Shelby on stream.
Woo!
Oh, man,
Yeah,
wait.
She's sipping on an energy drink right now. Let me tell you.
Right here.
Yeah.
There's a rule in these hills
Nope.
that says schlebbies don't get
There
energy
are
drinks.
no rules about that.
Chat, we're hiring.
Hey, not for my position. That's great. Yay.
Somebody other than Jordan.
Gabe got fired the other day too.
Paint Liquor, Noir,
I'm not the
Papa
only
Chicken,
one.
Video Game, what's going on? Vector, hello! Ghost Hunter, hello!
Hello, everyone.
What's going on, nerds?
I hope
It's
you're
July
all
1st.
having
I didn't realize that until I got to
a
work today.
delectable evening.
What's that?
I didn't realize it was July 1st until I got to work today.
It is July 1st.
Crazy.
You try harder, Shelby.
Ghost Hunter says, hey, bestie, stay caffeinated.
I will. Always.
How is she your bestie? When did
Besties.
this happen?
We're besties.
The chickens, they're conspiring.
They do conspire and conspire. They conspire
That's
some
true.
more.
Last time
time-
Schlebby was here, we got to experience Naked Jason being a hippo master. Cannot wait for today's flavor
Oh
of
my
chaos.
gosh.
I
That
can't
is
make
true.
any promises. It would be hard to top that stream.
That was pretty.
It was
That
pretty-
was something.
It was pretty special.
I need to get that sculpted.
I need to get that sculpted. Well, we should probably not have it be completely naked. We should take
You should give him like caveman garbs.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you could be like 80% naked or 95% naked.
Oh, trust me, if we were sculpting me, I would totally change out what you see here for a lesser version that is more Adonis-like.
Because it sells well with the...
People wouldn't be able to handle me naked, so I got to give them something lesser. Something they're used to. Something a little less defocusing so you can continue with your normal lives.
So, what you're saying is,
Like Brad Pitt.
I should reach out to a sculptor that I know.
And we should do Jason on a war hippo with chicken parts, eagle claws. It could happen.
It will happen.
It could happen.
It should happen.
Tentacle.
Monument Hobbies
227.
OnlyFans win. We would get kicked off OnlyFans. And that's saying a lot.
We probably would.
Do we have?
I don't even know that OnlyFans has a terms of agreement. I'm just saying.
I think I'm sure they probably do.
They have to, right?
I don't think you can murder things on OnlyFans, but other than that, you're good.
Yeah.
Are there any videos using paints and primer for airbrushes?
We airbrush quite a bit in some of the older YouTube videos. We do it on stream quite a bit. Is there anything in particular you're wondering about? Because we can always talk about it during the live stream here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we don't have time to shoot every video we want to, but we're working on it. But I don't know when we get to something specific. But that's what's great about the stream is you can come in here like you have and just ask away.
Yeah, we're trying to put more hours into the day, but we're having some issues.
Might as well go get Vallejo to paint me. Boris. Procurl body painting workshops for the OnlyFans channel. That's
Oh
played
my
out.
gosh.
Everybody does it. They do it really
Yeah.
well. No space. No space there for us.
Hi, Wad.
Oh, what?
Wad Potato.
Their primer keeps clogging.
Are
Where
you
am I
using
seeing
ours?
this?
Right here.
Your primer keeps clogging. What primer? Ours? What needle are you using?
Mm-hmm.
How full and how long are you running it?
So many questions.
Yeah, so many questions.
We will get to the bottom of it.
Do not thin our primer.
Nope.
Run it through a 0.3 needle or larger,
Mm-hmm.
and run it at 20-ish psi or greater,
Mhm.
and you're fine. And you're fine. If it's clogging on you, then there's an issue with your brush, either like a bent needle, it could have like a slight deformation of the needle tip, clogged nozzle, something that's not clean, so the aperture doesn't open up as wide as it's actually labeled at. So a 0.3 becomes like a 0.1 very quickly if there's get gunk build up in the nozzle. So 30 psi, yeah. I don't usually recommend going that high, but you definitely can. 40 psi and our primer. 40 is probably too high. right? One of the things that you get with too much air is you'll get less paint necessarily, depending on the size of the nozzle. If you're going with a big nozzle, higher PSI works. If you say you're not sure on how big the needle is, if it's a 0.2, that could be causing you problems, especially at high pressure. Because what's happening is that you're going to get a lot more air than paint, because you just can't draw that much primer out, right, on a small needle. And so more air, less paint means you're going to cure actual paint on the needle tip. So you probably are experiencing dry tip as well. Like if you look at it when it's clogging, you might also see that the tip itself, like the tip of the needle, is colored black if you're using black primer, or white if you're using white. Game delay definitely has pressure problems. I don't know that it's related to just high pressure game delay. I think it's any pressure.
That's so funny.
Aw, refined paint palette. Hello.
7-year-old son says hello. Hello, 7-year-old son.
Hello, 7-year-old son.
No matter what refined paint palette's son's name is, it's always now 7-year-old son.
7-year-old son. Hello.
He's like 27. Hello, 7-year-old son. That's how the internet works, unfortunately. I didn't make the rules. Death Proof Impulsor, what's going on? Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Hope your weekend was great. We're back. We're back at it. Jordan's here and nothing got primed in the last 30 seconds. How is that possible? The jokes, they are a-rolling, Jordan.
Wow.
Sorry,
Jordan was just saying before stream how much he loved you guys because you were so nice to him. I looked at him and said, that's what I said.
Yep.
I said,
Yep. Yeah, look.
Spoke volumes.
yeah. We only have each other to watch out for here because you guys aren't going to do it.
He keeps on firing me though, so I don't know.
Tentacle, yeah, and you know, so whenever we talk about airbrushes, regardless of the type of airbrush, I'm gonna take this pistol grip because it isn't hooked up to an air hose, right? So always be concerned with the needle style. So if you use one of ours or a Grex, because Grex makes our Monument Hobbies brushes, right? And if you look at the needle, it's always so hard to show with the chrome on the there you go. So you can see how this needle has 1, 2, 3 little hash marks on the back of the needle. That means it's a 0.3, right? The 0.2 has 2, and the 0.5 has like, it's not 5. It's like 2 close together and 1 far apart, but they have a legend that tells you what it is. So you can know that. And the same thing happens on the nozzle, believe it or not, because they're match sets. So the nozzle will have a series of matching marks on it for most. Not every manufacturer does this, but most have some sort of a color coding or something that lets you know what's going on. I should probably pull the needle back before I do this one.
Refined paint palette. 7-year-old son's name is Spencer. And his
Hello-
5-year-old son's
hello,
name is
Spencer.
Michael. Hello, Spencer and Michael.
No. Spencer and Michael,
Spencer and Michael.
welcome to the channel. Hello. Glad to have everybody here. Like I said, I hope everybody had a great weekend.
I had a very delightful weekend of getting beat up by Elden Ring bosses.
Oh,
The DLC is not forgiving.
fun.
The DLC is not forgiving.
Hi, Hoosiers. I bought yarn and I thought of you. It's coming today.
You bought yarn?
I bought yarn. Slightly impulsively.
Slightly impulsively?
Only slightly.
Okay.
Partly.
Partly planned?
How much you
Yes.
spend?
I think she's lying.
I
A
don't.
lot.
Not a terrible amount.
I think she's lying, chat.
Correct. I agree with what you said, Jason. Sounds like she's lying.
I would never.
That's also a lie. Isn't that funny how that works?
You shouldn't file down the hash marks on the needle. No, I mean you can. Just don't expect to know what the heck's going on. Why would you do that?
Quantum Knight, hello. Welcome for your first
Why
chat.
would you do these crazy things?
Welcome.
Thank you for hanging out with us. And welcome to the stream.
Didn't paint as much as you had planned to this weekend? Well, that sucks.
Happens. Michael likes your hat, Jason. Thinks your hat is cool. So, you're still hip.
Hit the B square.
Hoosiers, I got it from Hobby. Like that place in Denmark.
You ordered stuff from Denmark?
Yes.
But it's very, very important to make sure that your needle nozzle combo are correct. So if you've ever changed your needle and you weren't paying attention, or whatever happened, you just have to be careful and make sure that the needle and nozzle are the right size for one another, because obviously a size mismatch will cause all sorts of problems. So start there. Tune your PSI down to between 20 and 30 in general is the place you want it. And you should have good times. Good times, good times. Our primer is actually very lightweight, meaning very thin. That's why we don't use thinner with it. And it won't clog on you unless you run it for a whole army's worth. We typically tell you with primer to do less in the cup, spray till it's gone, rinse the cup with water real quick, spray all the water out, refill with primer. Anytime you're priming anybody's primer, not just ours, that's just your cycle for priming. Don't put primer in the cup, spray. When it runs out, put more primer in the cup, spray. Runs out, put more primer in the cup, spray, because you're skinning up all of that dry primer in the cup. There's no way you can spray fast enough for it not to skin over in the cup, and that skin flakes down into the body of the airbrush, and then it starts to clog from internally. You have big flakes of dry paint in there that won't reconstitute the way you want them to, and it'll cause all sorts of problems. Somebody had asked about this. Did I deepen the green? No? From where it was before? No, I haven't done any work on this outside of stream, so what you saw last is where it is. I haven't really changed. I am going back and adding shading and things like that where appropriate. So there is some of that going on. Oh, show.
Mike said, I say Shelby's cost for what she bought was responsible, and I'm totally a testament to responsible spending. Yeah, I don't know if I want your stamp of approval on my spending. That might...
I'm still surprised that somebody used the word responsible and schlubby at the same sentence.
Wow.
Wow. After last week, I just told her how responsible she was.
Yeah.
How much I appreciate her trustworthy responsibility.
But now I guess I'm irresponsible.
I mean, a lot can happen over a weekend, Schlubby. A lot of yarn can be bought.
It's true. I didn't buy
too
it
much yarn
this weekend. I bought it last week.
I'm only now finding out, so my judgment is always reserved until the point where I have all of the correct information.
It'll be cool, I promise.
It'll be cool, I promise.
I don't know.
I don't know if I
I'm
should believe
so
it or not.
excited.
About the thing you're making?
Yes.
Awesome.
What are you making?
I'm making a dress
It's very cool.
Yeah.
For yourself or for somebody else?
for myself.
Nice.
I saw this pattern, this girl on Instagram was working on it for a full year, and I put it on my calendar because I loved it so much. And she released it a week ago.
Oh, release the pattern?
Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty excited.
Are you going to have to spend a whole year working on this fancy dress?
No, it's not going to take me that long.
So you're awesome. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not what I'm trying to say.
I mean, somebody was making the pattern, Jordan.
Yeah, it takes a really long time to...
Oh,
To
Not
make
making
patterns.
the dress taking a year. Although that is the way I heard it at first.
that is the way I heard it at second.
No, they
But
were...
I immediately said, oh no, she's talking about the person that actually made
they
the
were,
pattern.
Yeah, they were
And that takes a long time.
Refining
Because
their
you can sew the
pattern.
dress and then you have to work backwards,
Yep.
deconstruct it
Yep.
to figure out how to make the pattern work for other people that aren't you.
You're saying
that
all
part I
the
know.
correct
Sounds
things.
lame.
Sounds lame. I think it should take a year to make a dress.
Yeah. Sounds lame.
Kingsley said, why do I feel like if Shelby called me hip, or still hip, it would be time to give up and start tucking in my t-shirts. Look, it's,
People tuck their t-shirts in?
I guess. It
What
sounds,
planet does this happen on?
sounds like something you shouldn't do.
Planet old folks?
There's a hip way to tuck in your shirt, just saying.
I don't think that's true.
There is.
For t-shirts?
Yeah.
Not even a chance.
Not fully.
Not
Are you
even a
trying to tell
chance.
people to half tuck in their shirt?
I do a little French tuck from time to time.
What on earth is a French tuck?
It's the little front, you just do a little front
This is a family channel.
tuck.
This is a family channel, Schlebby.
I know. I'm talking about fashion.
I got nothing for that one, folks.
I don't know what to tell you.
I got nothing. I'm just gonna paint.
Papa Chicken, the dress is not an egg apron, but that is on my list of things that I want.
What is
to
an
make.
egg apron?
It's amazing. I saw it a while ago and I've wanted to make it, but I don't have a purpose. But it's an apron. It's an apron that you wear, but it has little pockets in it for like collecting eggs. So like people that have chickens, you can just put them in and they stay safe in the little pockets. It's incredible. But my mom doesn't have chickens anymore.
What did your mom do with the chickens? That's right.
The
She
raccoons
cracked
killed
their
them.
necks.
The raccoons killed them
She
actually.
cracked their necks and then rode a hippo.
This needs to happen.
A bookshelf apron? 28 books? That seems like it loads you down pretty quick, depending on what books you read.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I'm pretty sure no matter what book it is, carrying 27 of them is.
Well,
I just want to walk into a
28.
bookstore. I think those still exist. And with a bookshelf apron, right? And walk around the store and just load books into my pockets.
A bookshelf apron.
And then go to the checkout counter and be like, just keep pulling books out of my apron.
Yeah. Tiger Shady, it's more of a sundress than anything, but I don't feel like that's a correct. I don't know. There's different. I don't. What is a
What's
sundress?
the appropriate? Yeah, what's the appropriate classification for a sundress?
Yeah, I don't.
Jordan thinks it's lame because he doesn't have a dress.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
You got me.
You'll tuck your shirt in maybe if I was doing a presentation at an archaeological conference, maybe. Otherwise, it's hanging loose. Well, we're talking about t-shirts.
Yeah. T-shirts should always hang loose, unless.
Avian. That's why I said it's a family
you're
channel.
doing a tasteful tuck.
Play D&D Friday for the first time. That's right, Hoosiers. How'd you like it? You survived the wolf attack at level 1.
Nice.
It's so funny because at level 1, like, that one kobold will wreck you. We stumbled across a drunk kobold, killed the party.
Hello, Tech Elf. Welcome.
It's like a wolf and a badger. One
Walk
wolf
into
and a
bar.
pissed off badger killed everybody.
Tiger Shady, the unfortunate thing about that is that I also don't live in a place that has mushrooms that I can forage. I live in the desert. And we don't get many mushrooms.
Papa Chicken, I was not worried about you prior to that statement. Now, I'm worried about you.
What did he do?
Papa Chicken says, the only fashion I know is either skin-tight spandex or plate mail.
Yikes. I don't know how to feel.
I don't even know if we're living our lives correct, Jordan.
I don't think we are.
I think we've missed out on a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. We're just over here in La La Land while Papa Chick is robbing all the fun from us.
Yeah, where's my fun? Why don't I get any fun?
You saw the bookshelf apron? Dead chickens make Papa Chicken sad. Unless, of course, they're also tasty. Chickens are a 50-50 thing for me, man, because I only like dark meat.
Yeah, you have a thing about bird meat.
Who?
You do.
Me?
Yep.
I mean, I don't like turkey.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of gamey birds.
Yeah.
Pheasant sometimes is a little rough for me, but
Can't say I've ever
every now and then. Game hen is okay because it's mostly it all. Even the white meat is like dark meat.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
How about duck?
I only do dark meat. Duck is too greasy.
Yeah, I don't care for the greasiness.
A lot of fat. A lot of stay warm in the winter on ducks. It's a little greasy when you eat it. So not the biggest fan.
Nick Pye said, "Are you sure it was a raccoon that got your chickens and not some dude riding a hippo?" You know, I'm not.
A lot of people are
100%
rethinking those wildlife parks and recreation reports they put in
Yeah.
about the fox in the chicken coop.
I got nothing.
Like,
for
you know, we
this.
did hear some odd hippo sounds last night.
You know, we're missing
Some
a
weird,
hippo from
some
the
weird
zoo.
grunting and like hoof. Do they have hooves? Hippos? I feel like they do.
Yeah.
No.
They have toes like
They
got
like
toes.
rhinos
They
and
got
stuff,
Yeah,
toes,
they're
right?
more like elephants
Foot
and
pads.
rhinos.
Like
Yeah.
foot pads, maybe.
That's actually such a good question. I've never seen a hippo's foot.
Jordan might be striking in a hakama. I mean, he's here in basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
The Baby J original.
Refined palate. I don't know why there isn't a moon dress. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, there's
There is, but this is a family channel.
Oh boy.
Pop Chicken got this cool idea for an evening dress. It's basically a sundress, but for at night. We could call it a moon dress. Oh, wait. Back to the drawing board. Wait a minute. Hairdo, what's going on? Where were you and your lovely wife in that picture that I saw you guys this weekend? It looked like either a political rally or a basketball game.
It could have been both.
You bet it would hold a bunch of scorpions?
I don't want any scorpions near me.
Yeah, not really.
No, thank
Have
you.
you gotten to the giant scorpions in Elden Ring yet?
I did.
They're gross.
The spiders, scorpion things? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy
They only
it?
get worse when they start flying.
What?
Yeah, they're flying.
Well, they like jump down from the ceiling.
No, the other ones fly. Like you can see them from a long way away. They just fly. They're just huge and fly.
That's
They have
funny.
like dragonfly wings. It's really weird.
I don't. Yikes.
Level 1, you rolled a 3 for initiative and 2 straight 5 in combat. 5th edition D&D is much kinder at low levels. Well, I mean, you know, in first edition or second edition that I played, right, back in early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, whatever it was, all there really was were like modules for like levels 1 to maybe 15. Maybe levels 1 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there were. Expedition to the Barrier Peaks was what? I think that was one of the highest ones. It had the sci-fi crap in it, and it was like level 12.
I don't know. I've played very little.
10 to
D&D.
12. Like, you know, you had entire modules that were for like levels 1 to 4, right? And then Hall of the Mountain King or Hall of the Mountain Giant, and then like the Storm Giant's Peak or whatever it was. It was all the giant modules that came out and all that. And I think Storm Giant might have been level 12 to 15 or something like that. I don't remember.
Video game archaeologist. There are mushrooms up north, but not in the desert.
I would imagine that Arizona has pretty much everything.
I know for a fact that we do have mushrooms. I don't think that the amount of species we have would be as vast as some other like wetter states, but we do have mushrooms.
So we have mushrooms.
Just not here in the desert.
Dark meat is the most flavorful. My mom called it veins and things.
What?
She likes white meat.
Oh.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm a dark meat fan.
I
She
can't-
said, "Oh, you got to save the veins and things for Jason." I was like, I mean, if that means legs and wings and thighs, give it to me.
I like the bit of meat that's like in the socket, the shoulder socket. That's my favorite.
One time you tucked your t-shirt and a coworker looked at you and said, "Oh no, Wad, what are you doing? You're better than that." As they should. As they should. If you're going to tuck your t-shirt in, you got to at least wear a smoking jacket.
Yes. Please do.
Duck is red meat. Yeah, it definitely has more fat. Papa Chicken says, you were referring to the fashion on models you paint, but I'm excited to see which of you two show up in plate mail and which shows up in spandex for
Oh my god.
You shouldn't have said anything, man, because we were both going to go after stream and be like, all right, what have we been missing out on? Who's going to Google that?
Who's gonna Google that?
Who's going to Google that? Send Jason a half a chicken. No.
Jason's like,
That would,
no,
that would be awful.
don't do it.
Papa Chicken says, I need to hear Jason's best hippo sound. My best hippo impersonation?
Yeah, go for it,
Yeah,
Jason.
let's hear it.
Well, fine, sir. Would you like to ride around the block one more time? My hippo talks to me.
I'm
Shush.
disappointed.
My hippo talks to me. Shush.
Hippo talks to me.
Your hippo doesn't talk? Mine talks.
So,
You had a coyote, a raccoon, and a red-tailed fox clear out your chickens in Missouri, and your own dog. What do you mean? They cleared out your dogs?
Oh,
Or your
no.
dogs just sat there while it happened? Vexing got your first Battletech Lance. What'd you go with? And awesome.
I think the dogs helped potentially. Is what
You
I-
have hippos in South America thanks to a certain drug kingpin. Well, of course you do. Why do I not even doubt that? Foie gras is out. Yeah, not a big fan. Grew up in a bridal shop and your mom made dresses for a living for a while. That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Hippos don't have feet unless they eat somebody, and then only until they poop them out. Isn't a moon dress just an apron? That's what I was thinking,
Oh god.
personally. An egg apron would be the best for deploying pocket sand. Glitter. If basketball shorts and a t-shirt are Baby J original, I think we need to call a lot of other things Baby J originals as well. I mean, he's just trying to usurp the world right now. Haven't you figured that out? This is part of his takeover plan.
I'm trying to take over the world.
Even, yes, in the DLC for Elden Ring, there are flying scorpions
I think we should
that look
learn
kind of
how
like
to-
big tarantulas with scorpion tails, actually.
I think we should learn how to weaponize glitter.
That's not
Hot.
hard.
You mean
Hot
it's
take.
not already?
Yeah, I was about to say that's not hard.
I know, but we could weaponize it further if we wanted to.
Hey Shelby.
Glitter has caused more divorce than guns have.
Great.
Shelby, just
Halfway
remember,
there.
all you have to do is take a handful of glitter and throw it at somebody.
But that's small
I've
scale.
weaponized glitter.
That's small scale. I'm talking big scale weaponizing glitter.
Oh, hairdo, awesome. Awesome.
Just be
It was a
careful.
good picture. Good to see you guys out having fun.
I have an imaginative.
Gameplay
adventure.
said, so did someone get stuck in the paint machine? Is that what we're hearing? No, that was somebody bringing like one of our little delivery carts
Yeah, we have like a
down the
push
tile floor that's outside. The hallway outside the studio is tile until it gets to the carpet right outside the door. Because it goes in front of the bathroom hall. Yeah, that was Gabe with a cart.
Freaking Gabe.
That was Gabe? Gabe should know better.
Gabe. How dare you?
AZ certainly has oceans. Well, within reach, but not our own.
Unfortunately.
We'd have oceans of cactus, yes.
They are everywhere.
But yeah, I would assume that there are mushrooms like Flagstaff and up in the mountains. Although it's still really dry, so I don't know what mushrooms dry where there's not a lot of moisture, or grow where there's not a lot of moisture. Is Chris finally taking vengeance on the air compressor? Yes, that's what that was. Or after ever, over the weekend, you finally got tired of your airbrush clogging when using Stynylrez and cracked a bottle of PA Black Prime before using it up. PA didn't clog at all, never had a better airbrush priming experience. The rest of the other primer is going to go unused, I think. Awesome. That was one of my biggest problems with primers prior to making ours. Is, you know, one of the like whenever you develop a product, you start with a wish list of things you want it to do. Not all of them get to make it because some of them don't play well together, especially when mixing chemicals, right? There's just like, you can't have certain things happen and other things happen at the same time in a chemical mixture. You know, but with the primer, I had used other airbrush primers long enough, all of them, all the other brands. And I was like, there's a better way, you know? But we did have to make trade-offs. Like one of the trade-offs is ours is not going to be as rigid as quickly as some of the others, but it's also going to dry flatter. It's not going to clog details. It's not going to clog your airbrush. Right.
There's a lot of upside there.
Slow is ready to bring back the hoodie blazer E3 chic. What? Hoodie blazer?
I don't.
Sounds horrible. That's like the jean jacket with the sewn in sweat
Ugh,
hoodie.
Those are so bad.
So bad,
I
right?
hate
Oh
them.
God, those are gross.
It's like, that was a Canada thing. Sorry, Canada, but you guys need to step away from the denim. Denim doesn't really need all of
Blame
that.
Canada.
Like you can wear like a hoodie and then a jean jacket.
Yeah, that's respectable.
You don't have to have one that's sewed to one
No.
another.
Yeah, the dogs ate some chickens. too,
WC
that's my
Fields is a
fault.
hip. My hippo does sound a little bit like WC Fields. Your dogs ate some of the chickens too? Ah, traitors.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Traitors. Vexen got the Innersphere Fire Lance. Awesome. Good choice, my friend.
You could have picked the other ones, the bad guys, the good guys, the best.
Natural
guys.
Borns Unite. They look cool. That's the way to do it, man. Buy rule of cool for BattleTech, especially. Buy what you think looks good. Later on in the timeline, you can literally just mix and match whatever you like. Some mechs don't technically exist anywhere, but still you can do it. Whatever. If you like some clan and you like some Innersphere, you can put them together. Because at some point in time, we're all just one big happy family warring. Christmas Sushi, were you violently attacking the... Oh, no. Why is that the second person that thought that?
Yeah, I don't
Chris
know.
is not inherently a violent human.
Well,
I feel like he has a
I
streak,
don't- That's,
Um,
I don't think you've experienced that part of him then.
Chris, stop hitting me! Ow!
Okay, I was wrong. Sorry. I was wrong.
Gabe, you're throwing your friend under the bus.
Scorpions are arachnids, yes.
What?
They fall under arachnophobia.
Do they really?
Hmm? They're arachnids. Glitter is plenty weaponized. Yes. Yes, glitter bombing is a thing.
I don't see anybody using it in any
Because it's
major...
illegal.
The cats are being
it's
silly
literally
for
illegal.
Chuck's attention. Hello, Chuck.
You can't glitter bomb people.
Aw,
Hairdo says his wife is better looking than him.
it'd be so cool though.
I mean, it's supposed to be that way. We're supposed to be ugly and lift heavy things. Just remember that. Refined Paint says that shield is pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who oppose his mighty shield must yield.
Oh, chat. I wish that you got that.
Oh my god.
I just got winked at by Jason. That was a spectacular moment. Jason, never change.
Have I ever given you the feeling that I would?
No,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying
This
it
is
for,
pretty much what you get, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Oh,
It's only real around here, folks. That was actually the theme song to the original Captain America cartoon.
yeah, it sounded like it.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Or all of those had horrible ones.
I know.
Horrible. The Spider-Man was bad. The Hulk one was even worse. Doc Bruce Banner, pelted with gamma rays, turned into the Hulk. And he's so glamorous.
Glamorous, huh? They went with
Wow.
glamorous.
What rhymes with gamma
Really
rays?
had
I
to
don't
go
know.
far
Somebody
for
else,
that
somebody
falsetto.
Google that. I don't know if that's the words, but it went like high pitched and didn't make any sense. And as a kid, I was like, let's not watch Hulk until after the intro.
Yeah. And
Iron Man one was pretty bad too. All of them were bad. But as a kid, you were just jonesing for those to be the cartoons that came on after school. Because every day after school was a crapshoot as to what you were going to get. Some days you get Voltron.
Thank you.
Some days you get Battle of the Planets. Some days you get our Star Blazers. Spaceship Yamamoto, I think it's called. And some days you get like the Marvel ones. It was just like whatever they decided to throw together on the TV on
Crazy.
channel 39 or whatever it was. It was UHF. The normal channels didn't even care about kids.
That's impressive.
Video game archaeologist, yes.
Yeah, we do.
Arizona does have part of the London Bridge. I just learned about this actually.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
We have a part of the London Bridge here.
Yeah.
When they
Why?
tore the London Bridge down.
Some guy bought it to make a really small, tiny town in Arizona seem appealing. And it's still very unappealing because it's in the middle of nowhere. And it's still very tiny. Food for thought.
Interesting.
And he spent millions.
Slightly ordered chaos. You should never thin any primer technically, right? Primers are not meant to be cut or diluted in order to become a real primer, right? Because they have in the world of water-based acrylics, they have a heavier polyurethane. So as you thin a polyurethane, it starts to just be like a normal paint. You lose the priming aspect that it gives you that extra grip on surfaces that normal paint doesn't like to stick to, right? In like heavier solvent stuff, lacquers and such, then you can get away with a lot more, and they will cut those. Mark Robber has weaponized glitter against package thieves for a while. That's all made up. That's literally 100% made up, that guy. Every single one of those package thief things that guy has done with his glitter traps has been staged.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's a liar.
Yeah, it would be cool if it was real.
I was trying to remember what I needed to do today. I had to order paint to complete your I like that you remembered that one. I'm not sure about your loyalty that you forgot it, though.
Who likes us?
300 mushrooms grow in Arizona. That's
Fly
like probably
Captain,
rookie
thank you.
numbers. You look at like wet states like Louisiana, they probably have 1 million.
Or Seattle.
Well, and there's so many
Yeah.
species of mushrooms. That's why they're so hard to identify.
Anyone want a denim hoodie? Free to a good Ghost Hunter, did you feel called out? Like, damn it. It's actually Canada Day today. Filthy Canadians.
no wonder Shelby's mom's
Always
not
trying to
here.
steal our thunder. They're like, you know what? We should do a Canada Day, like 2 days before Independence Day.
Yeah.
Is this a new addition to the jean tuxedo? Wow, we're behind.
We are.
We're 6 minutes behind.
There's,
Oh my gosh.
there's so
It's because
many.
I'm not painting. Jen was right. She says if I don't paint, the chat gets way behind.
It's true.
Does.
All of BattleTech runs on Rule of Cool. Yes. Yes. The Crone is out. Refined paint. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. William Tseng does all of our sculpts all based on my designs. Mine and Inez's designs. I do all of the original design work, and then Inez does the finished character study, pulls it all together, and then William does all the sculpting. Great team. The three of us turn out some great stuffs. BattleTech family eruptions are a dull affair, or reunions are a dull affair, and those 3 cores are ruptured. Don't do that. It's bad.
Oh, speaking of family reunions, there's a show I need to go watch.
Chris is a meanie head. Gabe. Wad says, did you see my message earlier that I obliterated an Atlas? One of the mechs I brought was a Sagittaire. Nice. Atlas has a lot of armor to get through. Are you talking Alpha Strike or Classic? It's a lot of armor pips to get through. 305 or something like that. Unless you like core them instantly. We are not Hive Mike. Okay, need to remember the timestamp when Schlebby said glitter bombing was cool. Please don't. If a glitter bomb gets sent to this office, all bets are off, Mike. Remember what I said? When I said I loved you, thank you?
I wouldn't want it to be done to me.
You just realized that you just invited it.
Baka says, I thought this was a no singing stream. Yeah, no singing. Avian says, well done. What did I do? Which one? The Captain America one?
The Captain America one.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield. You're going to super sad, though, when Baby J paints over that shield. I know, right? It's going to suck when he's not happy with it. He's like, you know what? I really wish it was pink. I was going to paint it plaid.
You know what? Me too.
So you know what, you guys? I just want to let you know that you should never, ever repaint your models, ever.
Ever. And starting today, as his New Year's resolution...
my mid-year's
resolution.
He's never going to paint another model twice.
Guys, we're halfway through the year. That's crazy to me.
Uh-huh.
I can't wrap my head around that.
You thought the Ramones Spider-Man theme was good, though? Was that the one at the same time? I don't know. They're all done by different people. I thought all those themes were done by the original artist. Remember that group they called the original artist so they could make all those albums? It's like all the Beatles songs sung by the original artist, and it turned out that it was K-Tel. K-Tel put together a band called the Original Artists so that they could do the commercials saying that it was all the greatest hits of the Beatles sung by the original artist, but the original artist was a band. That's why I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Sounds like thievery to me.
Hi, Relax Studio.
You go live and you get a free concert. I mean, hey, you get what you pay for around here. Uh-oh. Tiger Shady clipped something. Do I want to know?
Bro.
Battle of the Planets, yeah. Battle of Keop. Tiny, Keop, Jason. Jason was always badass, of course. I don't remember what the main dude and the chick's name were.
Oh, Jason.
Me or the one in the cartoon?
You.
Okay.
Did you kill
also badass.
Did you kill the final boss?
No. I didn't even... No. I can't say I didn't walk through the fog door because I did walk through the fog door. Immediately got obliterated. Went through the fog door about 3 extra times. Got obliterated. Did a little bit of damage on one of them. Went and respect. Came back. And tried like super 100% block, really super sturdy retaliatory shield build. Because I was rocking Dex Arcane. Right?
Yep.
And couldn't even hit him before I was dying. Like did like
so
a few hits. Like his life bar moved like 1/4 of an inch. Did the shield with the fingerprint and everything. Just went heavy duty, full on cheese. You can't hurt me build. And couldn't get but like a couple of hits into his second phase before I was just roasted. You know?
Nice.
Whether you bring out a tier, I tried all of my plus 10 ashes. I was still trying to do him with single player health. I tried summoning in other players. I went and helped other players try to fight him. I have not seen that boss get killed yet, except in people's videos.
The final boss?
Thank you for the sub.
Radon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've not seen it other than in YouTube videos. I've never seen it. And I have assisted in that fight 50 times. I've dropped my sign down and fought that boss 50, no less than 50 times have I fought Radon as not as a host, as a helper.
So four shots at a boss and it's down.
Oh,
right?
I lost way before that. There were some other bosses that were like, okay, this is not going well for
Thank
me.
you, whatever that was.
So
how did
Oh, but I killed Mesmer the first time I found him.
Yeah, I had one of those weird ones where I was like struggling on like
Wait, we got to get through this. We got to catch up first, and then we can go off on a tangent.
yeah.
I don't know where we are.
Just keep going.
Okay.
The GSI Krios has a very blunt 5 needle on it and can run whatever I want in it generally. Okay, a .5 is pretty big though.
Hi, T. Schmidt.
What do you mean I got to break your heart? What are you talking about? The denim? Sorry. I don't know what he's talking about. What about Washington State? Yeah, we're talking about mushrooms.
Mhm.
My 3 monument order shipped. Yay!
Woo.
Wait, 3? Why don't you just order once?
Yeah. Or combined shipping.
2D cell shading style relax? Nice. Use your Hack Game Show gift card to buy the Crone and some texture trainer stands. You did. You cheated. Nice. If Chris and Gabe can't play nice, the compressor gets turned on. I mean, we will turn that compressor on.
I'll go turn it on right now.
Send the glitter bomb inside half a chicken, dark meat only.
Oh,
I
gosh.
swear to God, game delay. I will tell everybody about those drug lords you help out. Oh man, I thought it was April Fool's. What's with this July stuff? I know, right? It's July.
Hey, you animals.
Just weaponization.
Just weaponization of
Oh,
glitter.
Mike.
Why do I sing every time Jen is absent? Because Jen won't understand. Jen won't know any of those things. We had different childhoods. She was watching Strawberry Shortcake when I was watching
I
Voltron.
love that. Love strawberry shortcake.
It still feels like January. No. It's July of 2024, my friends. Where did the year go? Nice refined paint. What's that? What just happened?
I don't know.
So I went over and I turned on the compressor. I said, I don't even remember what I said. I said something funny. I said, you animals or something, and I turned on the compressor.
You said behave, you
Behave,
animals.
you animals. And then Gabe goes over, he's like, he's not even using the airbrush.
He wasn't going to use the airbrush, guys. He was literally just doing that so you'd behave. Spitfire says, I'm painting a sword with engraved lettering, and I'm having some difficulties painting the lettering. Does anyone have any tips? Paint the lettering first. The easiest thing to do in Recess is if it's really an engraved set of, like on a, the Emperor's Champion has the engraved sword. You paint the engraving first, right? And then paint the top over it, because it's harder to get the paint into the spot if you use like the side of the brush to paint over the top and just be sloppy painting the letters and then paint the sword over the top of it. Then your letters look perfect. You look like a hero. What is that?
Mike.
How many?
10.
Quit it. Quit it, Mike.
He's like,
Well,
I
huzzah,
got some
huzzah.
rest over the weekend, and it's time to be back at it.
Can't beat the fog door boss, but I'm beating up Admiral Boomhowler with a size 3 brush. Nice! I beat all of the fog door bosses except for 2 right now. I have 2 bosses left in the DLC that I know of. I think I've gotten all of them.
How many Remembrance bosses have you killed?
All of them. Except for Radon.
There are 10.
I've killed all of them.
You killed the finger,
Mother Fingers.
Mother Fingers, killed all that stuff.
Yes. Mother Fingers. I finally killed the Putrescent Knight. Rolana. The Porcopotamus.
Are you talking about the Golden Hippo?
Yeah, Porcopotamus.
Yeah.
The
Oh, Caius or Gaius?
Gaius.
I heard that guy is a pain in the butt.
Super simple. Didn't even give me a problem.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't even give me a problem. I was all worried because everybody said he was so hard. Didn't even give me a problem.
Mike,
It was one of those where I sat at the fog door for 10 minutes overthinking it, and then I was like, screw it, I'm just going in. And I went in, and I just killed him in one.
Mike, you need to
Really?
stop.
Killed him in one.
That's funny.
Mesmer is the one that was the screwiest, because I was just wandering through the Shadow Keep. I got to a random little bitty door. It's just a little door, not a big door, just a little door. And it hit open, and it pushes both halves open, and you're in the boss fight. It doesn't give you the chance to back out. You're in the cutscene happens, and I'm like, I was not prepared for this. I had already used my Wondrous Physic, fighting
Okay.
some dudes getting there,
Yep.
right? Because I didn't have any idea about the map. I go into the Mesmer fight and one-shot him.
That's really funny.
Yeah, one-shot him. And the summons didn't work. There's a summons inside his room, and it didn't work. I couldn't get it to, like, the boss is crazy, so I'm moving around, but I step on it, the guy shows up, I hit, yes, never summoned him. So I was like, well, I hope the story didn't get screwed up by that.
We should finish catching up before I'll talk about it again. You did it again!
Jen
did it
didn't
again.
understand your solid Pokemon joke either. She's not a Pokemans fan. I love to hear that you think I don't understand you. She didn't understand my pop culture references from those days. She just doesn't. Jen's banned Jason from singing. No, that's not the case.
Jason's the one who does the banning of the things.
It's true.
Not
He
Jen.
breaks his own rules.
He does break his own rules, but it is his house. He's allowed to make and break rules.
Mike has given a total of
Wad, you didn't know that the Mark Rober thing was staged. Yeah, it was all staged. Most of those things you got to be, I mean, you have to know most of that stuff on the internet
fun.
nowadays is staged. Like the ones where somebody acts like their toaster just randomly caught on fire. I'm like, then why are 3 people sitting there with their phones filming you?
Yeah.
That's not the way that works.
You don't just throw, you don't pull out your phone.
Spitfire, yeah, okay, the Emperor's Champion sword, simple. Just paint, and then you can be sloppy and get all the right color in there, highlight the inside, and then use the side of your brush very lightly to paint along the sword. So like if this sword were engraved, I would paint this with the brush, I would paint all the lettering, and then I would use literally the side of the brush with very little paint, almost like a dry brush, and I would go across the top so it only catches the top parts. And you'll have to do it a couple of times, but it won't get any paint down deep, right? Like almost like a dry brush, not quite, but close.
404.
What's that?
Mike has gifted
Now it's-
404
now it's
subs.
Did you do that on
404.
purpose?
Yeah,
He was
I
at
said it was
404 not found. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. I thank you, my friend. And welcome to the family, everybody new. Make sure you reach out and give some hearts and hugs to Mr. Mike there for the gifted subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Speaking of how fast time is flying, how's your golden?
Jen says I'm always here. I don't know why people don't ever remember this. We all know you're here. We didn't say anything wrong.
Did we?
She doesn't get my pop culture references. Ever.
And Jason, have you worked on your golden demon since the last time?
Oh, yes. Lots. Keep scrolling.
So
Quitting,
no.
Mike said quitting is for people like me. Wait. Wad says this nonsense again. He stopped at 404. Maybe that's his goal. 404 gifted subs in the channel from
I
Mike. That's
kind of doubt
crazy,
it.
by the way. Crazy.
Shelby, I kind of
That's
doubt
not gonna
it.
be where he stops. And you know
Keep
it.
going down.
Okay.
Ads are bad. Chat is good. We are Mike. I love it. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, ads are bad unless they're ours. I had this open in both YouTube and Twitch, and the delay in the audio made the last 2 minutes sound like hilarious insanity. I mean, does it sound different?
Pretty accurate.
About how long does it take the Procure primer to cure? It says on the product page, wait for it to fully cure, but no idea about how long. So, here's the deal. Like with any kind of painting products where we're trying to let you know how long to wait before painting on top of it, we don't know your environment, and we don't always know like how you're using it. We can assume a lot of things, but that's why we put like 24 hours on primer, because in general for a polyurethane to become fully cured, you want to give it 12 to 24 hours before you really start being rough. Now, you'll watch us prime like this guy when we painted him on stream, when we started him on stream at first. I mean, I put him together, drilled the hole in the base, put the post in, wrapped it with tape, then primed it, and then set it aside while I cleaned the airbrush, and then started painting. So what, maybe 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10, 15
5
minutes.
or 10 minutes
Yeah.
while we talk, and I clean the airbrush. So 5, 10, 15 minutes of it drying, and then I'll paint on it. But I use a very light hand. I wasn't doing anything with the model. I'm holding it by this wooden base that had blue tack or artist tape all over it. And so I'm not like beating it up. I'm not dry brushing immediately. I'm not doing anything that's going to scratch the primer off, and it's still allowing it to lock in. And I still get, I mean, none of this paint's going to rub off. So I'm fine. I do that all the time. But people might see me do that and get confused that, oh, I can just paint on it after 15 minutes. And then they start dry brushing for slap chop. Or they start taping it for airbrushing like hazard stripes or something like that. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, these are not the same thing. So we always recommend the full cure, or a minimum of like 4 to 6 hours of cure time. If you're doing like an army, shouldn't be hard, prime your army, do whatever. If you're going for that instant gratification, you want to do what we do on stream, and you want to just put them all together, prime it, and get to go in painting, that's fine. Just realize that the techniques you use right out of the gates need to be a lot simpler and lightweight, just base coating with a brush, no beating on it with a dry brush and things like that, and you'll be fine. Don't poke the bear.
You're not a bear, Mike. Last time I checked.
Punisher says, I've only had stream open on Twitch in the last 4 years. Have sounded like hilarious insanity to me. I was with you, Pun. I was with you.
We made it. Look at that.
You make pop culture references from Charlie Chaplin to Amazing World of Gumball. Nobody ever gets half my references. So that's like pop culture before pop culture was a term. So that's hard. I don't know that pop culture was a term in Charlie Chaplin's day. Silver Scratch Built Productions. I painted my cat Falcon as the Falcon. Nice. You need more patience when waiting for layers to dry. If you do lighter layers with your primer, or with any paint, it will cure a little bit faster too. So when you watch me prime models, I did like 5 coats on this guy. Really feathered coats, not big thick ones. With primer, you want to do a very light coat to where you can see most of the model's resin or plastic color from underneath it. It looks like you're just a bad painter. Then the second coat starts to fill that in. And by the third coat, you should have coverage on all the main areas where you can't see the color of the plastic model anymore. And the fourth and fifth coat are really just kind of like dialing in spots where you may have missed, right? Like under the chin, armpits, eye sockets of skulls, and things like that, right? But you should have that patience when priming. Priming is a tough thing because it seems like it's just simple. I buy primer, I spray it on the model, I go. Because we've lived in this world of rattle can primers. I come from a world of painting, like, not, I'll say cars because it's an easy way to get across, but like motorcycle tanks and sheet metal, where your priming is the most important coat you'll put on. The color is, not irrelevant. It still has to be done well so that you don't get drips and runs and orange peel. But the prime coat is the most important part because that's what adheres all the rest of the paint to a surface it wouldn't adhere to otherwise, right? With our models, it's a little more forgiving. You can literally not prime a model and paint some paint on it, and if you are okay with the patience of struggling through those first layers, not adhering really well, and you build it up enough, eventually you'll get enough paint on it that it'll be okay. But that paint, if you give it a good touch, will come right off. I know a lot of show painters that have painted like top quality, show-winning busts, only to have them have paint flake off when they put them in a package and ship them to their customers. And the reason for that is they didn't use a primer. They just painted right on top of GW plastic, right? So can you? Yes. Should you? No. And you should let your primer like cure to the point to where it's going to do its job of being that kind of protective shell over the actual plastic that allows paint to adhere better, because every other layer of paint will be better for you waiting. That's just the real deal. There is no silver bullet for priming. No instant dry. There are paints that will dry quick to the touch so that you can handle them. They're still not cured. Right? Even like barbecue primer paint, from Home Depot doesn't instant cure. It requires 24 to 48 hours before it stops off gassing. Yep. And so if you paint it and put it out in the rain, tough luck. It's not going to work very well. Yeah, prime and paint on different days. Because you prime one place and another. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, I used to, when, before we were doing the stuff in the studio, like years and years ago, I would like prime every model that I was planning on painting in the near future. I would just spend time prepping and priming all of those, and then I would just let them dry. And then the next day I would start painting. That was just part of the deal. Rather than worrying about just one model here and one model there, I always had tons of primed models because I would prime them. Now, just be careful if you do that, and you're not going to paint a model for a while, put them in a place that is as dust-free as possible, because if a lot of dust builds up on a matte surface, it becomes tacky, right? And you'll have to prime it again and probably have to clean it off. So don't let them sit for like a year primed. That's a bad thing. We've had a lot of people that have called and said, hey man, I'm trying to paint with your paints on these prime models, and I'll look at the picture and I'll be like, how long has that model been primed? He goes, oh, I don't know, I primed them like last year. I'm like, there's your problem.
That's crazy.
Right? Primer is good right then. Like right after it cures, paint over it. Right? Don't let them sit around for a long time unless you can guarantee they're not in an area with like dust and other stuff like that. Put them in front of a fan and wait for an hour. Yeah. You can speed up the curing that way. It still won't be done. It'll get to a point where you can paint on it more confidently quicker for sure. Have I caused audio notifications to just be off forever now? They're muted from the other day. Shlevy, you see down in the audio mixer portion of OBS? Other screen?
On my screen?
Other screen.
What?
The OBS screen with the stream on it. You have your mouse on the wrong screen.
Right here?
No, other screen. Your other monitor
Oh, gotcha.
screen. Okay, see the audio mixer? Over to your right?
Yes.
See the red X?
Yeah.
Click that. There you go. Chuck, what's going on, man? General Ginkgo. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah.
What's going on, General? If there were a silver bullet for priming, would it be Wizards? Shush. I nearly said it. One of the most amazing paint jobs I ever saw was a model car. After the primer, they added like 30 to 40 layers of various shades of brown and used like 2,000 grit polishing paper on it. Yep. Yep. I mean, there's a reason why the best car, like if you go to take and get a custom paint job, it takes a long time because they will wet sand coat after coat, especially when they get to like the clears or if you're doing candy coats. They'll wet sand the primer layer and prime over it and then sand it again and prime over it so that it gets ultra smooth and gives a lot of depth to it. You're building up a lot of layers on top of that. And when you get to the clear, it's the most important thing ever. It makes it look like one of those, Jen just said it the other day. What was it called? Shellacked tables, where it's so clear. It's like a quarter of an inch of clear that's all polished.
Yeah.
It feels like that, but it doesn't add a dimension to the car, but it just has that depth to it that you can like imagine jumping into it because like a swimming pool of color. What about varnishing model after priming and after the painting is done? I wouldn't varnish after prime. That defeats the purpose of priming because the varnish is not going to give you as good of a tooth for your next colors of paint as the primer is. So I don't know why you do that unless you were intending for your primer coat to be a main color of the model. So maybe if you were doing like our camo green primer and that was like the base for your tank, then you could varnish over that and then start painting over the varnish for sure. If you use like a matte varnish. Or if you were going to do a lot of washes and things like that right over the prime coat. I don't understand why people do that, but with the advent of like slap chop and those types of things, I get it sort of. Because a lot of the paint that you're painting directly over with a very wet wash that has a lot of petroleum products in it might like harm the primer layer early on, like strip it off, right? Because some of the speed paints out there are just garbage chemically. Like they just have not really thought it through. And if you just put it over a primed layer, sometimes it can strip the primer, pool up really bad, do some crazy stuff. It's really meant to go over like a more satiny color, right? So if you were going to put a varnish over it, put like a gloss or a satin varnish over the top, might help you with that. And still maintain like a black primer coat. If you did like a black primer, white primer zenithal, and then varnish that and then put your speed paint over it, probably really a better idea. Wad's like, I'm gonna have to reprime something. You got primer models that have been around for years. Man, when we first started painting on the stream back in 2016, some of the first models I painted had been primed for a long time. Like I found for some demo models, there were models that I was using to show people techniques. They weren't models I was trying to paint for anything. I had some old Signar Warjacks that I was showing people how to paint with inks and transparent paints and things like that, using undershading with highlights and zenithal priming. Yep. And I was doing that over these models that I swear had more dust than primer on them. Jesus. And I literally just took the airbrush and kind of primed them real quick so nobody would notice and then painted over the top. And they were okay because they were heavy metal models, so they, it was kind of funny, but... 20 poxwalkers with only the base coat. It's always good to just do the base coat, right? We hear it on this side because we had the computer muted when Jen was on the other day, and I unmuted it when we rated the channel we rated so that I could hear what they were saying, and then we didn't mute it again. So we've been thinking you're hearing the alerts because we hear them here.
Yeah, we have.
But they've been muted on the output to the stream. So I'm like, I've been hearing huzzah, huzzah all day.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
I heard it 22 times.
Your uncle had an auto body shop. Wet sanding is worth it, but takes quite a bit of time to do right. Yeah, that's why you're only really seeing people do that on like custom paint jobs and stuff in multiple layers. When I was doing motorcycle tanks, it was a common thing because the tank was small, so you didn't have to spend a whole time. But you can imagine doing like a 65 Impala and wet sanding the whole thing, layer after layer after layer. It's weeks of time. Body work and sanding is the worst part of painting and being a painter. It was always a joke that the best painters always had a body guy. Warjacks, haven't seen PP models around here in years after the debacle of the mixed material models. Around here, at your place, they're coming back. I mean, they got bought. The IP got bought by Steamforge Games. It'd be interesting to see what they do with it. I don't know. We'll see. I feel sorry for Privateer Press, is the thing. They lost a lot of really good people in that buyout. You know, all their stateside crew. I don't know about all, but a lot of people lost their jobs.
Everybody except for one that I know of.
One guy.
Yeah.
That's sad. But, you know, the company was in a bad way. So what are you going to do? It's tough. Any chance of July challenge reveal before the holiday? We'll try to get to it either by end of day today or tomorrow. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I already have plans for it.
When you prime with black, you don't varnish. It holds much better than white. Yeah. Our fiberglass guy wet sands all the boats. I kind of have to, right? When laying up the fiberglass. Not just for paint, right? Painting on fiberglass is so rough because it starts with a bad texture. Here in Memphis, when they made the models that were part metal, part resin, they'd show up with warped resin parts and it wouldn't really assemble no matter how much you boiled them. Yeah. You hope Jordan's plans for the challenge don't involve any ideas from chat. I mean, you never know what trouble you're going to get yourself into.
Just remember, you guys deserve it.
B-Rab, you used to sand all your model cars. The plastic or the paint or both? I would have to... So it was funny because when I started building models, I learned my dad built models and he had patience. He was a little bit older, obviously. A little bit older than me, right? My dad. Duh. And
really? Who wouldn't
but he had patience that as a kid you just don't have. Because I didn't have it. I don't know how many of you guys had it at like 6 or 7, you know, building your first model kit with your dad. And he's over there because the models where the sprue indent was and you clipped it off back. I mean, this is, you know, you didn't have superior hobby products back then, right? You had like pretty typical tools. And so there'd be little divots in the plastic. And sometimes the mold spot, like especially on large flat things like the roof of a car or on the wings of a plane, sometime depending on what scale it was at, you'd have the plastic and then you'd have a little shallow dip in the plastic where it seems like when it pulled away from the mold, it stretched the plastic in the middle a little bit. So it had like a little circular kind of divot in it. And he would take epoxy putty and fill those in and sand them. And so his models were always like baby's butt smooth on the plastic where they needed to be. He had filled and sanded and treated and done this stuff. And I'm looking at him like, mine's together. And mine had like glue fingerprints in it because we're using like the old brush on plastic glue that melted the plastic. So if your fingers got on it, you actually melted your fingerprint into the plastic, right? It was just so bad. So my model was over here looking like Frankenstein's monster, and his is all pristine, to the point where he probably hated it because he spent money on this model, right? We didn't have money. So he's like, why do I waste my money on this stupid little kid, you know? And I'm like, look at me now, you know?
Look at me now.
But back then, you know, it was like I didn't have the patience for that stuff. You know, but sanding cars is like what all those guys did that I grew up watching, is that they would sand the plastic, fill it in, treat it like bodywork. Because a lot of them were automotive guys. And so they either knew how to do it or were doing it for their day job too. And when they'd go home and build this model, it was just an extension of what they did that was just a little cleaner and not as big.
Yep.
You know, they could make even cooler stuff happen here. And they were doing it with no products. Like to clear coat, I know one guy that would use real automotive paint on his plastic models. Like you can imagine with an HPLV gun, it'd just be like, and it's done.
Yeah.
You know? But he would do that and then wet sand it and then do it again, and it was pretty crazy. He had amazing models though. He was doing like 1/10 scale, like cars and motorcycles.
Well, that's pretty big.
But it was all just crazy stuff. I didn't have any patience for any of that kind of crap. Scale jail for July challenge.
Well, you're welcome.
My parents were only 19 years older than me, so both of them.
Looks like we're doing scale jail.
It was always easy to remember my mom and dad's age. I guess technically 20 by numbers, but 19 when I was born. And then they had birthdays right after me being born. But the year that I turned 54, my mom will be 74 this year. Told my dad. My biological father. I hear you there, Jason. Your kid who isn't married gets a base coat done in 15 seconds and is all the way done with painting models for the day. Yeah, exactly. Super fast and on to something else. Even back in the day where you didn't have like the same ADHD ability that you do now, right? Because now there's 50 million things to look at on your digital device.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any of that. It was go outside and they lock the door to keep you out. You know, go play with sticks and call them
Come
guns.
back when the sun is down.
You know, go play Cowboys and Indians. Go do something. Get out of my house. Is how I was raised. It was back when there were video games and your mom would come in and just shut it off.
Yeah.
Right? She's just like, you're done now. You know? Nobody should sit in front of the TV this long. Leave the house.
My mom made us like read to get video game time. So however much time we spent reading, then this was like during summer.
Jen needs to do something like that with
Yeah.
me. This whole weekend I was like Elden Ring. But I stopped long enough to like take the dog out for a ride on Saturday morning. Jen went and got brunch with a friend of hers. I took the dog for a ride. I came back. I took out all the trash, played with the dog, and Elden Ring. Sunday, did some laundry, and cleaned the bathroom, and then Elden Ring.
There you go.
And the whole time I sit, whenever I get to a point where I'm playing video games like I have been with Elden Ring since the DLC release, when I play that many video games, all I can hear is my mom turning off the TV saying nobody should sit in front of the computer that long. Because I spend my entire day here in front of the computer too. And then I go home and I'm like, da, 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 da. And I always feel worse about it, but I have a good time, so I don't know. Main Shaman, what's going on? Yeah, he's painting Cap. Cap the second.
Cap the second.
Falcon, we call him.
With a
Sam.
cool little explosion.
You love to hang out with Jason and play with sticks and drink hose water? Not in Arizona, I don't think.
No.
Oh.
I drink a lot of Texas hose water, and well, I'll say I'm okay. You guys may differ.
I drink a lot of Arizona hose water.
Arizona, and look at you. See, I am very afraid.
Yeah.
Very.
Dirt, hose water.
Definitely a bit radioactive.
Shelby's an interesting one.
Avian's like, I would love to see Jen toss Jason out. Don't come back until the sun's down. Don't come back till the street lamps are on. I have a car now.
Now?
Your mother only ever did that if we were playing Pac-Man on the 2600 because the horrible.
Yeah, I bet that drove some parents.
I had to play it on really
absolutely
low
insane.
volume or my mom would go bananas.
No, Paint Liquor, the key was to let the hose run for a bit so that all the scalding hot water came out first, and then you could drink it.
And then you could just go to lukewarm because
Yeah.
there is no cold water in the summer in Arizona.
No.
It doesn't exist unless there's a cooler attached to your water line.
Yeah.
Legit, at our house, the cold and the hot are the same temperature.
Yeah.
Yep, same.
It's so bad. So bad. Whoever did the infrastructure for this state with, hey, we don't have freezing, so the water pipes can only be 6 inches underground is an idiot. Idiot. I would like to get them in a small alleyway with a lead pipe. I'm
Wow.
just going to say it out loud.
That's crazy.
What's your preference, lead pipe or a 2x4?
Are we doing this with fists or
Jason
knives?
in the
Like
alleyway
in that
with
Bike
a lead
Riders
pipe.
movie.
Telling your kids not to come back until the sun is down in Phoenix sounds like attempted murder.
Yeah, you'd get like child abuse for that one. Guaranteed.
CPS called.
Guaranteed.
No, we just had water balloon fights. And then we'd have to pick up all of the little broken plastic water balloons afterwards. Paint Liquor said pipe is easier to wield, Baby J. It's true.
Is it though?
I think it is.
Probably.
It's probably
What
more
was the thing that you
satisfying.
said?
2x4.
2x4,
Splinters, man.
and it's square. You just
That's probably
can't.
true.
You can't get like a decent grip.
Depends on
it.
how nice of wood you get.
I mean,
You get a really nice piece of hardwood and a 2x4. You won't get any splinters and somebody will be
they
dead.
didn't really make hardwood 2x4s.
No, they don't.
Not what 2x4s are for.
I know.
You know,
I
my
know.
house is framed in walnut.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Just my house is
My
framed.
house
in
is framed with
walnut.
cherry. That's where I go. I have like a 1-bedroom studio, but it's framed in walnut.
Yeah, but you can burn it and get rid of the evidence.
Good bones on this
That's
house.
true.
Cricket bats. Who did I know growing up whose father spanked him with a cricket bat?
That's brutal.
I mean, in elementary school, no, in junior high, the coach had the paddle that was custom made by the shop teacher of the school, and it had speed holes drilled in it, so it whistled when he spanked you with it. You heard it real quick. Crack, crack,
That's crazy.
crack.
Wow.
I love corporal punishment, man. I literally, as a kid, I'm a big voter for corporal punishment. That's not spanking, that's battery. As a kid, I hated it. As an adult, I'm all for it.
Well,
got the
yeah.
belt. I got the belt at home. We didn't have a custom-made paddle at the house. I think my dad might have made one later on, but I don't think he ever spanked my sisters other than with his hand.
Yeah, we got wooden spoons sometimes.
He took it easy on my sisters, but for
You
me, I got the belt.
wooden spoons.
I got the belt. I've told the story about how when my mom, and my dad, when we were really young, we lived in an apartment, and I don't remember what I did. I pissed my mom off, and she spanked me, and I didn't even feel it, right? And so I got up off her lap and put my hands on my hips. I gave her the best defiant little kid face I could give her, and I said, "That didn't hurt." And right as I said it, the front door opened. We were in the living room. Front door opened. So my whole world went in slow mo.
Yeah.
That didn't hurt.
And right around the "didn't hurt" part, my dad walks in. The door wasn't in slow mo. The door was going in real time, but my brain and what I was saying was going in slow mo because I knew it was about to hurt. Like legit was about to hurt. And he walks in. He goes, "What didn't hurt?" And she goes, "Well, let me tell you."
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you all about it.
And then it hurt. Yeah, then it hurt.
Then it hurt.
Then my lesson was taught. Then my lesson was taught. You shouldn't hit some of your kids. Other kids need a good beating every once in a while. Feels like it. I mean, you got to be choosy with it.
I definitely agree.
The worst is picking out your own switch to get beat. Okay, go get a stick.
Yeah, that's
my
brutal.
great uncle, that's what he did with his kids. I remember. They would all tell that story. I never saw it happen, but he would make them go get their own stick. Wait until your dad gets. I've heard that more times than I need. I was not a bad kid, but I remember those times.
That was always the worst for me. Because I knew that if my mom would make me wait until my dad gets home, then I really messed up.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's like the cliche almost where it's like this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you from the parent that's, you know, doing the spanking. But when it got to the point where I was at that age that he was no longer going to spank me, I was just going to get grounded. They were going to take away my privileges and stuff like that, which of course hurt worse than spanking.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they spanked you, you were still free to go do stuff
Right.
because it was done.
Yeah.
Right?
Your life was
Paid
an
your
altered
dues.
little.
Being grounded for 2 weeks sucked.
Yeah.
You know, because you had to be home within 20 or 30 minutes of school time closing,
Yeah.
no TV,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff was abusive because then I'd sit in my room and I'd be like, oh. And they'd always unground me early because they get sick of me.
Yeah.
'Cause I'd be
you're
like,
always around.
You go sit on the couch and be like, oh. I was totally like that too. And, you know, but when I got to the age that he was no longer going to spank me and I thought it was a win and then it started being grounding, he was like, you know, I'm really glad that I don't have spank anymore because that really did suck, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that worked better than this, you know?
Right.
It's like, can we go back to the spanking?
You were an
I prefer
angel,
that.
lost your halo, but you were a damned angel, however fallen you become. I mean, that's all kids.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like
I
we're
was-
all angels first, right?
Oh my gosh, that was terrible.
I was born of original
freaking
sin.
terrible.
You like having never gotten spanked? You can easily live without mustard? What?
I don't understand.
What does that even mean? Is this a cliche from where you come from? What planet are you from? Your parents made me name the belt that you were hit with? What? That's brutal. Mine had A.L. Myrick. He had a Western belt that had been custom engraved with his name in the back. And that's what I got spanked with.
Wow.
My parents tried that on me.
You were good until high school, then the goth phase set in? Oh, no, not you. Scroll up and look. What does it say?
What?
Something up here about mustard?
Oh, the.
Your mom used to use the wooden spoon until it broke. He made the mistake of laughing. Oops.
I'm gonna be honest.
I don't
would
know.
have
Where
a
did
hard
we
time
see
not laughing.
mustard?
I'm seeing-
You two are wooden spoon
seeing-
survivors.
Oh,
says
I
Nick
see
Pye.
it. I see mustard.
Where?
I see it right there.
Here? Oh. My parents could not bear to spank us. Instead, they would put a dab of mustard on the roofs of your mouths. End result, never got spanked, grew up sane, and will despise mustard until the day I die. See, I don't know, man.
Huh.
Did it keep you from doing things? Because, like, the soap in the mouth only happened to me once for my grandmother. My parents never did it, but I cursed in front of my grandmother once, or I must have been it, right? And I got a bar of Lifebuoy that they stuck in my mouth.
Yeah.
Horrible, because soap makes you salivate, or I guess maybe just you having something in your mouth. I don't know what it is, but the bar of soap stuck, your mouth stretched side to side, and you're salivating, which makes it so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. It was
nasty.
the worst.
Gets super sudsy.
Worst.
I never had that.
It was the worst.
Did Gabe ever get that?
I don't think my
Was
parents
he a
did
bad
that to
enough
us.
boy?
I don't know.
to ever
Jade
get to-
says, by the time I was being a devil, your parents were old. All you had to do was outrun them. That's horrible, Jade. You should have let them catch you.
The thing with your siblings being punished was that you always kind of just like you saw it kind of start to happen, and then you were like, I'm gonna go do my own thing and act like I don't see anything.
Refined Paint Palette says, I wrecked the car when I was 18. It was just the door on the back, but I spent 3 days avoiding your dad. Nothing, not even chewed out. You beat yourself up enough for both of us. Oh, he wins, dude. Dad won. He goes, I just watched you beat yourself up for 3 days worse than I ever could have. I mean, you know, those things, like, I don't know that I would have gotten spanked or grounded for a wreck unless it was something stupid I was doing. And lucky I didn't have any of that. I didn't wreck until it was all my problem. It was my insurance and my car. And you know, it was, of course, that was the time where I got reckless. Yeah, it wasn't about that. It was always about, like, just doing dumb stuff, man. I can't even remember now what I would have done. Like, maybe talking back to my mom. Just basically not doing what people told you to do.
Yep.
You know?
That's what I always got it for.
Was really what it was. I mean,
I was also a nasty.
I'm a
little
strong
child.
believer, man. Kids are meant to be kept in line.
Ooh.
That's how you get good kids. Doesn't mean you're in line the rest of your life, you know. But that's what's. Come on.
Well, that's how you learn like the difference between right and wrong.
Respect and all that good stuff. But you know, whatever. It did. It got to the point where if your brother and I were acting up in church, when we stopped by IHOP after church, they would ask for a jar of mustard. Oh my gosh. I guess whatever works, man. To me, I don't know that mustard would have done it. I really like mustard. As a kid, I don't know that it would have made a difference. I always liked mustard. I grew up in Texas, home of the mustard burger. You would see people disciplined in public. Oh, yeah. Yep. I got kicked under the table at restaurants for acting out at a restaurant, like being all sulky because they didn't go someplace where I wanted the food. And my dad wore pointy-toed Western boots, and he'd be like, pop, once in the shin, and I would be, eyes would well up, tears, and I don't remember all of this I remember it happening, but I just remember just being like, you know, you got to learn to like every food you went out for at that point, you know. Well, we were a family that didn't have a lot. So whenever he would take us out, looking back as a grown-up, you know, I would look back and be like, I get it now.
Yeah.
That was something special for them to take the family out to dinner.
Well, and it's like,
and I'm being a douche.
yeah, it's like imagine if you went out to dinner with somebody and you're like, I hate this place.
My nephew.
Yeah.
I want to kick him under the table.
Yeah.
Ungrateful bastard sometimes. He's a great kid sometimes, but there are times where you take him out and he's like, meh.
You're
I
like,
don't
just
know-
wait
I don't know
until
how
you
to
grow
pronounce
up and
that
you have to start
username.
paying for your own food.
It's
Thank
like,
you for
those
the-
Takes
things-
you out to dinner and you're like,
It's so
thank you.
funny. Here's the whole human experience rolled up into one 15-minute segment on this stream. You just said it.
Yeah.
The same thing your parents said to you.
Yeah.
Just wait till you have to buy your own damn food.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And you're like, what does that have to do with anything, Mom?
Yeah.
You know, and then they get spanked. And now
Yeah.
you're older and you're like, wait till you have to go.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny because they say it to you and you're like, nah, you're lying. It's nah.
The
You're just
disciplining
being a
in
pain.
public stuff is something that I remember always being awkward, right? You felt like that's more of a private thing. But if you were acting out and your mom was at the grocery store and she didn't want you acting out, you heard it real quick. It was like, and then you got quiet. And you knew what happened.
Yeah.
You go like look around in the grocery store aisle and the kid is like red faced like I was getting kicked under the table and didn't say another dang thing through the entire
Yeah.
grocery store.
Yeah.
You know? kids need to be afraid of they need to respect them in a way that borders
Yeah.
fear. You need to be, in my opinion, you need to be fearful of the consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
Right? And as a parent, that's your idea to teach. Mom made you chew a sliver of soap. Even worse.
Yeah, that's bad.
I don't think you want to be afraid of your parents. That leads to other problems.
Yeah.
Because I had friends that were afraid of their parents. Like I had one guy whose dad was a Marine, and this kid was not ever going to be military material. And, or at least at the time I knew him, through junior high and high school, he was not ever going to be military material. He never joined the military, but his dad was military, and his dad was like ruled by fear. He just had that built into him because he wasn't ever a drill sergeant or anything. He just had that built into him, his whole family. And that was always a weird situation sitting at the dinner table with him if something was a little tense, you know? You're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
that felt weird. That never felt like that at my house. My house, we could still have fun and have good conversations around the dinner table and stuff like that. You just knew that what limits you were able to push.
Mm-hmm.
They started when you were like 4 with the mustard. Okay. All right. I mean, did they tell you ever why they chose mustard? Could they have chosen anything? Did they just choose that, you know what, these kids never get to enjoy mustard?
Yeah.
King Tone says I was on my kid's butt first 3 years. I stopped paddling him when I was 3. He understands respect, and I'm transparent enough with him to know what's right and wrong now. He's a saint at 7. I love it. Should be. Now, like you said, it could be mustard on the roof of the mouth or whatever, but... I love a ghost hunter's like, now I know why Chuck sleeps with one eye open, because Jade's insane. Our job as parents isn't to raise good kids, but to raise good adults. Yes. I like that one.
Kids are never going to be
I don't know if there's such thing as a good kid.
paragons. Yeah.
A Master Tech ring that he'd turn inside towards his palm. Ooh. Oh, I got wrapped on the knuckle with a turned around ring by somebody.
Oof.
Like hand on the table and was acting out. Whack! Oh! Right on like your like this part of your hand. Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
remember
stuff
that.
hurts.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Might have been my granddad.
Yep.
Oof. D-Fresh, what's going on, nerd?
I feel bad for how much of a pain in the butt that I was as a younger kid.
Oh, yeah.
Because I used to have anger problems. I used to be like a really, really angry kid.
Baka, I hear that. And that's
Took
why
a
I say
long time.
the fear of your parents is not a good thing. That winds up wasting time. Yeah. Don't be afraid of your parents. Don't be a parent that causes your kids to be afraid of you. Have them be afraid of the consequences of their actions. Jen hit you with her ring? Is that what I said? No. Jen's only hit me twice.
I got nothing. I got.
She one morning waking up, and I forget what happened, whether it was a dog or something, like kind of jumped at her or whatever, and she freaked out, elbowed me right in the face. I was kind of awake. She elbowed me right in the face. Bah!
Then you were very awake.
I was very awake. Like, wait, what'd I do? What'd I do? What'd I do?
I'm watching a lot of cops lately, and these 18 to 20-year-olds are something else. So many resisting arrest. You can see these kids never heard the word no. The cop said, "You are under arrest for a DUI," and the kid's response was, "No, I'm not," and runs away.
When they were on, Jen would always watch these shows like Cops, or I forget what the other one was, the more recent one that got canceled. I forget what it was, but they would go, Live PD. She would watch like Live PD.
Oh, it got
right?
canceled?
Yeah, that explosion's looking really good.
Thank you.
She would watch Live PD, and we would go. I would sit down and watch it every now and then. And I think I'm such a broken record. I would look at her and I go, where do they get these people that have such zero respect? I'm a punk rock kid. I don't know that I buy in that you should respect anybody just because they have a badge on. I'm not saying that, right? But if somebody pulls you over and you know you done messed up, to go into run away from the cops, right?
Yeah, that's a bad plan.
Not a good look.
You're not gonna win this battle.
Do you understand what K and 9 when put together means? That means there's a German Shepherd in the back of this SUV that's going to have the most fun it's had all week.
Yeah.
Right now.
At the expense of your leg.
When you decided that, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Crazy.
No, I'm not. Elbow to the face due to dog is what she told the judge. My black eye ran into a door.
I ran into a door.
I did run into the door the other day. It was probably Sunday
Wait,
or whatever.
what?
Oh my God, I'm just an idiot. I was in the bedroom and she's on the bed like with the dog or whatever. No, she was folding her laundry, and the dog and I walk in. Hey, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And then when I turn around and smack into the wall, like the door was on one side of me and the wall was on the other, and I just decided to choose death and turned towards the wall.
Jason, did you pull?
She was so funny. She's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Who put that there?"
Jumped out at you. That's what I
Jason,
would say.
why did you think it was a good idea to pull a Jordan?
I mean, you know,
I know it sounds like
too much Elden
a lot
Ring.
of fun. Too much Elden Ring.
Too much Elden Ring. That's what you'll get. We've always been straight up about why things are happening and why they shouldn't do whatever crap they were up to forever after. We rarely punish the first time. It's better to, I don't know. I don't have kids, so to listen to me, a lot of people are like, shut up, you don't know what it's about. But, you know, I'm also a human that's perceptive. I feel like you got to explain the rights and wrongs in the situation where the right and wrong has been committed, so it all makes it across first, and then say, don't let it happen again, right? I mean, think about it, like at work, we kind of do those things, right? It's like, hey, I got to write you up. Don't let this happen again.
Right.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
It's like just the come to Jesus, so to speak, at the beginning, as opposed to, you know, never telling them the rules or writing the rules down when you get hired and then never be told, and then when you break a rule, getting fired. I don't feel like that's right. You know,
Yeah.
you got to let people understand that, hey, this is that situation we were talking about.
Yep.
Let's not let this happen again. Oh man, I'm really sorry. And then it doesn't. You find out that people are so much better when given the opportunity to learn from their mistakes rather than just getting bulldozed when they make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Heat-seeking fur missile.
Awesome.
Oh, I love it. Fur missile. Go get him, boy. Funny enough, most of the episodes of the cops are either Florida or Ohio, but mostly Florida. I don't know, that live PD show is all over the place. It was in like someplace in Utah. There was one here in Arizona, California. They were all over the place because they were tied into like sheriff's departments. And of course, sheriff's departments really only handle rural spots and way overloaded cities. So it was like, does the base on this make you want chocolate cake? Really?
Shelby,
For some reason, I think about toasted marshmallows,
Yes.
even though it's not white. It just,
That.
this looks like the burn part where it starts to bubble when you toast the marshmallow.
Or like coffee cake crumbles, like the really dark cinnamon sugar.
Papa Chicken. I didn't mean for this to become everybody's like, I mean, if this is good therapy about you and your childhood, this is good talks we're having. This is like Therapy Thursday. Papa Chicken's like, did anybody else hear? If you don't stop crying, I'll give you a reason to cry. Oof. Oof. I never got that one, but it was on TV a lot. Refined paint palette. I respect the badge more than the person usually. Well, I know enough that if I get in my whole goal is to not get in situations with police officers, regardless. You know,
pretty
like I don't
good.
want to have to talk to the police because somebody broke into our office. I don't want to have to talk to the police because I was speeding. So trying to follow the rules with the intent to not be a rule follower, but to be a police avoider is my whole goal. Like I don't want to talk to those people. I don't like them. I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
But if for some reason I find myself in a point where I have to talk to him, I give him the same benefit of the doubt that I should give every human that I've met for the first time. I respect you until you give me a reason to do otherwise.
I mean, the other thing that I try to apply to that as well is that, like, these are also just people.
Valley Slim says, I was also taught to fight back against bullies. Oh, yeah. 100%. My first fight ever was with the school bully, and I lost. But that kid never treated me bad again.
There you
It was
go.
like a movie scene.
Yeah.
It was like just calling him out, meeting him in the ditch after school at my junior high, and he hit me twice. It turns out fighting isn't like the movies,
No.
right?
It
And
ends a lot
I learned
faster.
that. I learned that at whatever age that was, 12 or 13, and I learned very quickly that it wasn't about like the movies. Fights don't go for 15 minutes. Fights happen and then they end. When it's bare
Yeah.
fist fights, you know, it's like I don't know. I probably said something smart in the ditch and then woke up. You know.
I always thought that I would do pretty well in a fight.
I
but
think I
never
might
know.
have grazed him once. He hit me twice, and I was out. My friends were peeling me up off the floor of the ditch. That kid never treated me bad again.
Well, kudos to him for backing off.
I gotta write you up. Stop making me do paperwork. This is annoying. Anyone ever try a hybrid non-metallic? Scroll back up for a second, will you? D-Fresh, does anyone ever try a hybrid non-metallic metal method where you mix metallic paints in with the progression of colors for the metal type? I did, and I think it almost worked. Okay, wait. So anyone ever try a hybrid approach for metallics Where yes, so what I'm thinking you're saying is using metallic paints and non-metallic paints to achieve a better look of reflective surfaces than metallic alone gives, and the answer is yes. You can do lots of different ways. Well, I say lots. There's a couple of different attacks that you can do, because you can start with metallics and then glaze non-metallic paints back into your shadows, and that gives you that kind of, well, instantly desaturates the shine of metal in the shadow that probably shouldn't be there. And then keeps the reflectivity up where your light source is. So that can be really neat to do, but it can also look sometimes like there's just stuff spilled on the metal. So I like to glaze metallics over other colors. So basically paint a really quick non-metallic workup. So if I was doing gold, I might go from mahogany to burnt orange to yellow ochre to pale yellow, and just do it in like stripes, like candy corn style it, to where it's like dark to highlight, but without much blending, and then use the metallics glazed over the top of that very lightly, so that you get the metallic sheen, but with your coloring to help infuse it with what you were hoping for in terms of your shadow, midtones, and highlights. So that works really well. And that gives a little bit of metallic even in the shadows. So the metal part is on top, which is the way it should be, right? The metal that's reflecting is the uppermost layer, if we want to think about it that way. If every time you paint, you're building a sandwich, you got to think about the bottom layer can't be seen from the top, but it's still important because it holds the sandwich together, right? And then, you know, the meat and lettuce and tomatoes and pickles and mayonnaise or mustard or whatever, not mustard if you had it put on the top of your mouth as a kid, you know, but whatever. All of those are very important, and you only get them in different amounts as you start cutting through the sandwich, right? And that's how we paint. Is you might do a layer that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it really does add some flavor to it at the end. And so underpainting, that's why you see me talk about that so much. Build those layers underneath of the colors that you want to support the main color. To be like, you know, I really like it when gold has that little bit of warmth of orange. Rather than trying to glaze the orange on at the end, put the orange underneath the gold and let it just barely show through, because you can control how much gold you put on top. So that's a good way to do it. Then you can take brighter colors like pale yellow and do your final highlights over the metallic with it, you know. A little bit of gloss varnish helps a little bit there, because if you're going to use any non-metallic colors, you probably don't want them to be ultra matte over the top of your metallics. So that's why we do like the gloss varnish. You can mix it in with your paints. Helps a lot. But yeah, it's a great idea. And it works really well.
I do it a lot for painting my true metallic metal. I'll use a lot of non-metallic paints in the shadows to kind of pull the focus of the shine up to where the highlights are. And it does a really, really great job of layering on top of metallic and allowing you to kind of cut away some of the shine in areas where you wouldn't want it.
Yeah. Because
the shine is in line with your focal point in relation to the part that you're creating metallic, because it's that specularity is that shine, and that is reflecting back into your eyes. So it should be in a spot where it would be visible to you the most.
Well, the big thing that I try to teach, regardless, and why doing metallics, like what we call true metallic, even though it isn't, that's a misnomer, because it's not true metal. It doesn't act like true metal. It winds up being way too shiny. Is that we're painting photographs, right? This is a photograph of this dude in one slice of life. Nothing's moving, no time is passing. So as I rotate it, the light should stay. It's a three-dimensional photograph, right? If I took a picture of Jordan right now, right, and then showed it to you, or like took a scan, we can do 3D scans now. If I 3D scan Jordan in the current light, and it had that, and then I go show you in Blender or ZBrush and rotate it around, the light stays where it was, right? And so that's what we're painting. So metallic paints kind of cause a problem there, because like if I painted this with metallic, it wouldn't be able to keep this shadow here and this highlight here. As I rotate it, the highlight would change based on where the light in the room was. So I could rotate it back here, and instead of being dark and muddy, it would be bright right here, because now the light's hitting it here. So this whole back would be blown out. So it'd be very hard to tell the image I was trying to create and the story I was trying to present, because the lighting isn't ever the same. I'd have to hold the model exactly perfect in the room that we were in to get you to see the colors the way I wanted them. As soon as you move the model at all, the whole model's messed up. Here, all of my shadows and all of my highlights stay exactly where I place them. They don't ever change. I put the shadowed part of the model towards the light, it still looks super desaturated the way I want it to. Put the bright part towards the light, and it looks exactly the way I want it to. So that's me, my control freak nature wanting to show. And that's why when I paint with metallics, I want to have it still give me that. And you can do that by darkening your shadows with non-metallic paint, brightening your highlights with non-metallic paint, and then just doing the thing so that as you're looking at it, it still has that feel of an actual different material because of the metal flake in the paint. Works really well. Blood wallers, I agree 100%. You can't ignore your kids' behavior problems and then just get mad at them when they act out. That seems like today's problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your kid is 3 and your best buddy, but he knows if your tone changes that he probably shouldn't be doing what he's doing. I have not a problem with that, right? You have to have that kind of messaging. Otherwise, how do people learn? That's how we learn. You just can't go from 0 to 100, like we were saying.
Yeah.
Right? You can't go from everything's hunky-dory to being hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that teach you? I teach you to be afraid of your parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I never understand what's going on, but I go from happy to sad very quickly.
Yeah.
Therapy Thursday is a holiday this week. It is. It's the 4th of July. Wait, but speaking of which, we're going to do our birthday stream because our birthday for the company is July 4th.
Woo!
Imagine that. But since we're not here on the 4th, we're going to do our birthday stream on Friday.
Yep.
So if you
Prepared.
if you don't see us any other day this week other than today, the other day you see is Friday. Because who knows what hilarity might ensue on Friday with it being our birthday.
All the hilarity.
Just remember, it's us.
So it is our, God knows however many birthdays, our 8th birthday.
Is it 8 now?
It's our 8th birthday.
Yeah.
8th birthday.
Wow.
So-
Wowie.
Loads and loads of fun will ensue on Friday, so please join us. It'll be a lot of fun. When your school instituted a no-tolerance policy to fighting, it meant if you were involved in a fight, if you involved, you were fined, even if you didn't throw a punch.
Wow.
Yeah, that seems like bending the rule way too far because people will take advantage of that. If I don't like you, I'll just walk up and smack you in the head and we'll both get a fine, right? The stupid people will do that.
Yeah.
Your dad said, if I have to pay a fine, I expect to pay for something. Just don't start the fight. When I was in school, there was nothing like that. You would get suspended, I guess.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
got suspended a day in my life.
I did.
I never got
For
suspended.
fight.
I never got
That's funny.
suspended.
He's so
I got in
happy.
fights, but it was always
I
like
did.
off school
For a
grounds.
fight.
And
I lost too.
I always, for some reason, wanted to get in a fight for no other reason than just like proving that I could.
He's also my best friend at the time, which is very weird.
you got pulled over for doing 80 and an 80 because the cop didn't know the speed limit? That seems a little rough.
Did you politely tell the court that the officer was
Jade
wrong?
nailed it. My middle name is Douglas, and my mom would call me Douglas, and I knew stuff was not good. I done messed up. I probably forgot to do a chore that she thought was very important, like sweep the porch, because they had friends coming over or something. My oldest got got in a fight in junior high with another kid. When another kid was being bullied, no punishments given in our house. Yeah. Whoa. First time learning consequences. Grandma stabbed you in your hand because you were taking food off her plate.
Wait, what?
One warning, then stabbed.
Crazy sentence.
That's insane.
I feel like there's some old world justice being handed out there.
There's
But
some
I
old
feel
world
like this would be
justice.
an interesting edition of let's see what your grandma's life was like.
Your grandma went through the Great Depression, didn't she?
My grandmother, my great grandmother was born in 1900, right? My grandmother was in the 1920s. Is that right? No, 1930s, right? Probably like 1930. And so yeah, so you know that my grandmother, my great grandmother were the biggest influences on my life, and my great grandmother lived to be 104.
Oh my god.
My great grandmother, yeah, she died in 2004. She was born in April of 1900. Amazing woman, had seen everything of any consequence happen during her lifetime. Airplanes for passengers,
Yeah.
war, the biggest wars, depression,
Yeah.
you name it.
Saw it all.
Industrial revolutions and all these things going on at the point where she had literally was numb to like nothing excited her, you know, like you know,
Phaser.
like hey, grandma, I got a car. She's like, oh great, I'm glad you're happy about that. she's very level-headed, and you know, I'm a hothead a lot of times, but she really gave me a really good grounding in my teaching, and she was a big influence on me. My grandmother also was a big influence on me, but my grandmother was a little less, right? She's removed, and had probably acted out whatever. But I told the story about my grandmother punched my front tooth out.
I remember this.
Totally by accident, but punched my front tooth out at the dinner table,
I remember.
and never felt worse in her whole life about anything, I don't think, than knocking her grandson's tooth out. You know?
Yep.
Pretty
And it was
bad.
not like, oh, it's about to come out. It'll be okay. No, it was well, I hope that grows back.
Oh gosh.
Your brother had additional middle name. All the names that they would have named him started popping up. Reginald Daniel Terry. Those aren't even my names, Ma. You're mixing rich gold into every color in the progression except the shadow color. Yeah. I don't know that I would mix them. Try glazing, but mixing also works. Just remember that, we talk a lot about brush motion, right? And so if you're glazing, like if this were painted in, I was glazing silver over the top of this because I've got my values defined, then I'm going to want to take a little very thin silver and touch my brush to the model in the shadows and pull that paint up to the highlight, right? Because that's the way the physics of brushes works. It pulls the pigment and leaves the bulk of color where you stop your paintbrush, right? So under a normal brush stroke, you're doing like this, and it's like sweeping dust. You're going to sweep the dust pile over here and leave it here, so all that color is going to be up here, right? But you're going to leave just a tail of color behind because the dust that's, it's so fine it goes through the bristles of the broom, right? Same thing with painting. So I'm going to move my glaze from shadows to highlight. And as long as you remember that, you're always moving your brush towards where you want the color to be, not away from it. Most people would say, oh, I want silver here. So they start painting silver here and they start trying to blend it out of the spot where it is. Well, that just causes you lots of problems because now you've got silver here, but really you're putting more silver at the end of your brush stroke. So it's going to mess things up. So as long as you're remembering to pull your color towards the location you want the bulk of the color to be, then glazing becomes super easy, or its effect becomes more noticeable the way you want it. Just be careful. A lot of people will glaze and just kind of put the color on and squib it around. That's not going to do you well, especially with metallics, because you're going to notice if you do this with metallics, you're going to get less of the metal flake down at the beginning and more at the top, which is what you want to go over the shadows, because you don't want a lot of reflection down here. You could mix the metallic in at each of those stages, but you're going to have to just pay attention to how much metallic shows at each of those layers. Much easier to glaze, in my opinion. But you got to build up your confidence in that painting technique, sure. King Tone said, Jordan, do that again so I can screen capture it. What did he do?
Which thing?
You made a face. Can't remember when it was, but you made a face.
Your grandma had a neighbor kid bite her. She bit it back.
Oh, it was when it was.
Oh, I love it. And then when he cried, she was like, doesn't feel good, does it?
Yeah, I was like,
See,
He just did it
this is
again.
why I can't be president. Because my National Health and Human Services director would be Jade's grandma. Or the one that stabbed the kid in the hand. If that's the same, I think, yeah, it's totally. Like I would be like, yes, our National Institute of Health director is the person that says if somebody bites you, bite him back and ask him how that felt.
Not very good, huh?
I mean,
Maybe that's the Attorney General. I don't know, but this is why you don't put me in charge of things. Pop Chicken says this hybrid non-metallic metal talk has you think about iridescent questions you've asked. Use the true metallic paints and glaze the ivory over all of it. Then the weird colors into the shadows in and around the specular highlights. Again, I start with all my colors first and then glaze the metallic over the top. Because for the iridescent, what you're really looking for is those colors to be subtle underneath a layer of what appears to be, because when you look at iridescent, when you look at it from one spot, it's going to be one color, and then as you kind of go off angle, you start seeing those other colors, and that's that underpainting. If you glaze it on top, it looks like you spilled fruit juice on it. You're not going to be iridescent. You're going to be some weird oil slick kind of thing. Might still work. Just understand that might not get you what you want.
The birthday stream will be the normal time.
correct.
Normal time, 2 to 4
Yep.
on Friday, just like always. We still got to work.
Yeah.
What are your favorite colors in the Protocol line to work with, Ghoul Studio? Oh boy, you can't. Okay, so you're not going to get me with this because they're all my favorites, right? As the guy that has to go through the process of making the colors work, I love them all.
How about this? What's a color you've been using a lot lately? That's an easier question to answer. Because I agree with
It's like
Jason
picking
on his
between your
previous
children
answer.
for Jason.
I mean, what's that?
It's like picking between your children. Like,
Yeah, there's always really a favorite though, right?
Yeah, there is always a favorite.
You don't say it out. You don't say those parts out loud,
Yeah,
right? Those are the quiet parts that you kind of just keep to yourself. But
you toe the line.
So don't tell anybody. But Payne's gray, Payne's gray and white blue, really good. Can't
also,
lie.
the colors that you use most
Are those
of the time
both
for your-
Vince's colors too?
Yeah.
Damn that Vince. Damn you, Vince. Yeah, I don't know. Colors that I reach for all the time: burnt orange, yellow ochre, dark purple, Payne's gray, white blue, bright pale yellow. Now it used to be pale yellow, but now bright pale yellow is probably up on my list over the pale yellow. Those colors find their way onto damn near every model because they're all good shaders, mid-tone, and highlights. And so those kind of are where I find, if you ask me what I use the most, because they work in all those situations. No matter, you tell me what the model you want me to paint is, I'm probably going to find a place to put those colors on there. And they're superb for what they do. And then of course those branch out into all of the different tints, tones, and shades of those colors that you use in tandem. That becomes the whole line. There are a lot of colors that are very situational. Like, I don't ever say that I have a favorite color. You don't find me painting all of my models a particular color. I might be fixated on a particular thing for a while. Like, we might be painting a lot of non-metallic golds over the course of a lot of time, but I really don't fixate on any one color. I don't have a favorite color. Black is my favorite color. But the colors that I use for particular technical aspects of painting become my favorite go-tos. Dark blues, dark purples, the yellows, and the bright highlights. Birthday, Mike, we didn't say that. That's a lie. No, companies don't have birthdays. That's not how that works. You've been saving hilarity for Friday. What's happening with today's stream? Wait a minute. We've been dead serious all day long.
Yeah, we don't make jokes around here.
We don't joke. We don't play games.
Well, we do play games.
That's also true. Damn it.
We do play games.
Why am I such a liar?
Jason, we make games. We have to play games
Damn it.
to make games.
I told Jen, I said she better start learning how to play Age of Agra. People are going to start asking.
Yeah. She's gonna get a lot of Age of Hunger questions.
What else? What is Game Delay winning this time? Nothing. Game Delay's not allowed to win ever again.
Whoa.
Cheating cheater who cheats. What, did he win something here recently?
Yeah, he won 2 things
Oh,
back to back.
man. He gave one of them away. He gave the last one away.
I think that might have been the third.
No, that was his second. Game Delay's a hero. He gave his prize away.
Oh, it was the second. Yeah, Game Delay. The hero we all need.
Valandar says, my grandparents were the greatest generation. Your parents were boomers. You're raised by your mother and her parents after your parents got divorced when I was 3. My parents got divorced when I was 3, and I was raised by my mom and my grandparents. Huh? Very similar.
Jason has met my grandmother.
Jason's a hothead? Question mark?
My grandmother
mean-
is wonderful.
So Jordan in Miniac's video used a word that I don't know that he knows the meaning of.
What I get wrong?
He said I was a shrewd businessman. And
Did
I
I
kind
say
of
that?
cringed. I was like,
Did I say that?
am I shrewd?
Did I say that?
You did. That was your words.
Yeah, I used the wrong term.
I was like, can we get a do-over on that? But yeah, that was in reference to the hothead thing. I can be. I don't have a lot of patience for ignorance. I try my hardest to make sure that, like we've been talking about, that I will work with people to say, hey, let me explain what it is that's going wrong here, and let's try not to do this again. But my patience ends pretty quick after that. I don't have a lot of patience.
Hey, I appreciate the way you do business.
Well, thank
I think
you.
it's really...
I want everybody to succeed, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, anybody that I have. Okay, so here's a
learned a
very
lot.
selfish way to put this, and I think that if you can embed this in your own life in a way that makes sense for you, and not have it be overly egotistical, is that your life is for you. Let's just be honest. Whether you have kids and you live your life with the kids, you're still living it for you because you are making this world for the next generation with your kids. So it's still about you and your experiences, and don't ever let that stop. If you say that you have the effort to put it's worth the effort to put into a relationship with anybody, employees, friends, family, whatever. If it's worth your effort to be in there, then it's also worth your effort to see them succeed. Because the more they succeed, the better off they are for you, right? So it's a very selfish world that we live in, but not in the horrible sense. Like, I use that term selfishness, and people start to think it's a big, grab all the money thing. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
It's selfish in the terms that the better you can make other people around you, the better you make it yourself. Because now you've influenced your entire environment in a positive way, and that works here just as well as anywhere. I want to see people succeed. So give them the power to succeed rather than the power to fail. Because failure is not always just on the person. As a matter of fact, you generally start looking at what they've experienced that caused them to fail first, and then how they dealt with it second. But you can't be president because death laser behind every blade of grass. That would definitely get me elected. What are you talking about? I don't know that there's enough of those lenses left.
We can make them more. We can make more.
Can you imagine? The United States is now protected by an AI automated death laser consisting of 400 million lenticular lenses mounted at the top of every home in
I'm gonna be
the
honest,
country.
that sounds terrifying.
Oh yeah, that's definitely T1000 material right there.
Yeah.
That's Skynet decides to turn all of
I'm scared of
the lenses down on their owners. Health and Human Services, get up, rub some dirt in it, walk it off. Yes. Shelby ate dirt when she was a child. Look at her.
I'm fine.
She turned out all right.
I'm fine. I mean, she got the pukes and the poops from camp recently, but
I actually didn't throw up ever.
but other than that,
I didn't. I kept my stuff down, a little
Okay,
too
good.
down, but
Good. She died in 2006. That sucks. Yeah, awesome, Jade. Ghoul was like, I thought I was gonna get him to choose one. Not gonna happen. Not on my watch.
He did. He picked 2.
Full titanium white is indispensable. Transparent is a workhorse for you. Yeah, definitely. Jade, take it easy. Have a wonderful night.
Bye, Jade.
Don't take food from anyone else's plate to get stabbed. Don't take. We've learned 2 things during today's stream. Don't take food from plates you're uninvited to, and don't go around biting people.
Mm-hmm.
Also uninvited.
good things to live by.
You really just need consent. Hey Jordan, might I take that off of your plate? No, I will stab you. Sets the relationship boundaries.
Great.
So Jordan, might I bite you? No, sets relationship boundaries. We know exactly what is allowable at that point. It's really just learning communication is the grace of being a human being.
Jason, can I wish you happy good morning?
No.
Happy good morning.
Stabbed.
See why we need to have spanking still. I'm gonna get like a paddle and hang it right above the monument sign, like a paddle with speed holes drilled in it.
So instead,
Who's getting a spanking today, chat?
instead
It's a
of the
totally different
attitude
stream now.
adjuster, what are we calling it?
What's that?
If we already have an attitude adjuster, so we got to call it something else.
We'll come up with something.
The day maker,
The day maker?
because it makes your day.
Oh, it makes my day. I like it. It's the day maker. We're gonna get the day. Hey, Gabe. What's Jason? What's Daddy Jason doing this weekend? Have him make me a paddle.
What?
He's out of town.
He's over here.
Shelby's home alone.
He's camping.
Well, tell him to cut down a tree and make me a paddle.
What kind of paddle?
One that would make my day smacking people with.
And it must be inscribed.
Tell him like an
with
oversized, like an oversized ping pong paddle.
Wow, that big and round?
Huh?
Yes.
No, it needs to be more like a cricket bat.
Make those.
It needs to be more like a cricket bat.
They
They
make
make
those
those
in
in
bulk.
bulk. They're called pickleball.
Well, let's make it more like a cricket mallet
Okay.
or a cricket bat. Friday's gonna be fun. Only if we can get a cricket bat. The day maker. I like that. That one's really good.
I thought that was pretty good. The day maker.
Pretty sure at this point companies are more people than actual humans. Only if we go by the letter of the law. Unfortunately. When they said that corporations have a vote, I pretty much tuned out. Game Delay won the Hive raffle and threw it away. Other prizes were given later that day and the following day, so Game Delay gamed the system. Looks like Game Delay died. You call dibs on his future prizes, especially if it's Wizard's butt. I mean, did he die? He's right there.
Yeah. Fake news.
Death Room Impulsor Miniacs video was great.
Except for the shrewd part.
He's going to remember that for years. Game Delay says, I'm a master of he is a master of psychological manipulation. I try to be kind in an effort to manipulate people into having more enjoyable life. You're really not kind? I'm not missing out here. I don't know what you're talking about. If Slowfuse has to fire someone, that means he has to hire a new person, which means more paperwork, interviews, and then find the right person. Afterwards, you have to break him in. It's just a hassle.
I mean, he already fired me today, so.
I'm just saying, that's what the day maker's for.
I've fired Jordan like, what, 300 times?
A lot. I'll be honest.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten fired today.
Ghost Hunter, the best investment
I've
you can
been on
make
a-
is in people, and that is
been on a
everywhere.
streak.
That's
Yeah.
not just a business thing, right? The more you look at business, the more you look at your family life, you look at your love life, you notice that they're all very similar, or should be very similar, because the way you treat people is kind of always the same. I heard you said Money Vince McMahon stage intro. I heard as you said Money Vince McMahon. Did he die? I've seen a lot of things that like Vince McMahon
I
passed
don't
away.
even know who that is.
I don't know.
He's
who
the guy
is.
that owned the WWF, WCW, whatever it's called now.
I gave a speech to my department.
Oh, we double did. If anyone says they're investing in your success for you, don't trust them. I'm investing in you for my benefit. That's why you can trust it. Oh, is that something that you say? Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty good.
No, that's what.
Yeah,
you
don't let
said.
anybody invest in something
never,
for you.
yeah.
Let them invest in you. Put them their money where their mouth is, or if it's not money, their effort, right?
Well, I think it's the way that it's spun, right? It's the idea of
I'm investing in you
Yeah.
for my benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah.
why you can trust me, because you know that I'm gaining from this.
Yeah.
Like one of the worst thing in the world is when you're like, why are they doing this? What are they gaining from it? Because then it seems shifty.
Yeah.
Just be honest. Hey, guess what? You guys being better helps me take more naps.
Crazy,
It's rad.
Crazy
Yeah.
concept.
I don't take naps, but same thing. Cut down a tree and make me a paddle. Balsa wood. No. No.
Ebony.
Not unless it has a lot of nails in it. In my elementary school, I managed to help get a teacher fired. Whoops! I pointed out to the principal that she didn't seem to know how to be a teacher when she sent me to the principal for getting too many answers right. And while the principal was double checking her references and coming up empty, said teacher was caught paddling students with a paddle she knew had nails in it.
That's crazy.
After I just said put nails in it. Whoops. Valendar, where did you grow up? I don't ever want to visit there. It seems like it's kind of weird. Schleby's fired. She's in the top 33% of today's Monument Hobby streamers.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's only 3 of us.
Uh-huh.
You fired me.
Gabe was in the room technically for like 10 seconds.
And Philip.
Oh, Philip came in?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was peeking behind Gabe.
He's peeking behind Gabe.
I
Oh,
know.
and Christopher too.
What?
Now she's
He
down
peeked
to
his head
like
When did Christopher
15,
come in?
16%,
Poked his head in.
16.5%.
So sneaky.
She was fired and sued for fraud by the Diocese of Memphis. Oh, this Catholic school. Oops.
Oops,
Yikes.
indeed.
Was she not really Catholic? Is that why she got sued for fraud?
Zoinks. Scoob.
You're a Catholic school teacher and you're not even Catholic. I'm Presbyterian.
Yep, I say it all the time. They think I'm a butt, and then a few months go by and they realize it's not bad and it benefits them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny too because in a world where it's so easy to get screwed, it's almost hard to accept when people are trying to benefit you
Mm-hmm.
because you always feel like they're trying to get one over on you.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. It's like, I'm
But
not
it's
trying
like-
to get one over on you. I'm trying to.
Hey, man,
I'm
look.
trying to be better.
Look, dude, I just want Monument Hobbies to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yep.
That's why I love like our staff meetings and stuff. I think people around here get it.
Yeah.
We're very lucky. We got a good team. She wasn't really a teacher. Oh, she didn't have any credentials. Okay, that's kind of fraudulent.
That's very fraudulent.
That seems fraudulent.
I lost half my lunch at our last staff meeting. I'm
What?
sad.
Oh, because you dropped it.
So
I
the
dropped
next
my
the
sandwich.
so the theme of the next staff meeting, personal responsibility.
Over your own sandwich.
Thanks to Jordan.
Personal
Hey,
responsibility.
I took responsibility and
Thanks
I
to
cleaned it
Jordan.
up.
These are the things that have been given to you.
What the heck just happened?
What'd you do?
Jason, did you break something?
God said we're bad.
Well, you said you're bad.
I'm not sure what happened. Something fell.
Ever good?
Oh, it looks like maybe the sticky tack fell.
Oh.
Okay. We're fine. Everything's fine.
I am pretty happy with how it's turned out.
It looks really cool. I like it.
Nice big old little explosion.
Christopher Solo gets a rating of 12%, but weighted extra when combined with Gabe, putting the two of them at 28%. Philip normally gets 40%, but I didn't hear or see him, which means we have to prorate that.
Seems legit. That math checks out. But what does that do to Schlebby?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with me.
You out of here?
Hi.
I'm still waving goodbye.
Chris never leaves.
Because I want.
Our air conditioning works better.
Oh, that's brutal. That's savage.
Facts.
I stay at work because it's better for me to be here than to be on
Hey man, we
air.
will supply better AC to people.
Is your AC still broken?
It's just old and they won't replace it. He's dealing with his home warranty in the way that the home warranty is like, well, we're going to try explore all of our options before we buy you a new one.
Yeah.
And they could have just bought it. It would have been cheaper to just buy the new unit.
Wow.
Shooting themselves in the foot because of some rules some VP wrote.
Crazy.
Oh man.
You still haven't given me my percentage game delay. I don't see how any of this pertains to me.
Let's turn it off before he gives her a percentage.
It is 401.
It is 401.
What?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have managed to talk and paint nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've
I
started
literally
painting
think
now.
This might be the first time you put paintbrush on.
I think it is.
No.
Yes.
I did the edges on those
Oh, you did, yeah. At the very beginning.
at the very beginning.
Ah.
I have not painted a damn other thing. I have
That's
been
okay.
having a glorious conversation with our wonderful.
That's
Chat.
generally how Schlebby streams go.
That is generally how Schlebby streams go.
More chatting and less painting. Sorry, everybody. You came for the painting.
You know what I have to do tonight that I'm really not looking forward to?
What's that, Jordan?
Calling my insurance company for my
Ooh.
car.
What happened?
I cracked my windshield.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Bummer.
Big bummer summer.
It's such an easy call.
I know.
In Arizona, people are just so used to it.
It's
Yeah.
it's common.
Like it will be 5 seconds of them going, okay, get it replaced. Here's your allowance. Here's what you got to pay.
Here's your allowance.
Yeah, it's really simple.
Yeah. I will say I'm gonna be paying for the extra to get the lower deductible next time though, because I hear that this is a thing that happens relatively frequently in Arizona.
Yeah, it's dry and there's lots of loose gravel on the highways this
Yeah.
time of year.
Oh,
And the weather fluctuates so quickly.
so
I've never cracked my windshield though.
must be nice.
Knock on wood.
must be nice.
Watch, you just brought Murphy's Law down on
No,
them.
no, no. I knocked on wood, so it's
Careful
fine.
there, Shelby. I gotta pay a sweet $500.
My car has had other issues, so fine.
Does a windshield even cost $500?
Mine does, I think, because it's got all the sensors and all that garbage.
Oh my god, I never even think about that. Like new cars are a disaster when it comes to that
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
aren't
not
they?
not like them old cars where you just buy a nice piece of glass for $170 and you pay $50 for somebody to install it. or
Yeah,
whatever.
remember, this windshield has AI sensors
Yeah.
in 16 directions.
Yep. Oh, I am looking forward to it. Let me tell you.
Mike, he is not the second youngest Monument employee. There are many people that are younger than
Yeah,
him.
I'm like middle of the pack.
There's probably
If not,
like
higher.
5 or 6 younger than him.
I think there's a lot more than that
Of what?
Oh yeah,
People
maybe
younger
like
than me?
8.
that work here. I'm certainly in the
9.
top 50%
Yeah.
as far as age is concerned.
There's a lot of people that
I
are
mean,
younger.
Schlebby,
Shelby,
Gabe?
I am the
Gabe?
youngest.
Jacob,
Jacob. It might be easier to pick the people who are older than me, actually.
me,
So Jason,
Jen,
Jen,
Christopher,
Christopher, Philip, Ruben,
Carter,
Carter,
Kyle.
Kyle. Who else in the back? Oh,
James.
James.
Grant?
Grant, I think.
Maybe.
I would assume.
Yeah, maybe.
So we're at like a third. We have 24 employees. That was 8.
Yeah, he's like
25.
he's like in the middle.
Oh, we have 25 now?
25 people. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
That is really wild.
We've added like 9 people since I started.
Yeah,
That
just
is
in the
also
last
crazy.
year.
Yeah.
Considering
And we've had some people leave.
Considering when I started working here, that's crazy.
Yeah, because you were here like a couple months before me.
I was here in January, beginning of January.
A couple of months before me.
Yeah.
Wild.
Very, very crazy.
I love this place. It never change.
Keep buying Procurl, please,
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. Just
so that we can keep firing Jordan.
Yay!
Don't fire me anymore. I can't take it.
Jordan needs a place to be fired, so keep buying Procurl.
like Jason just has like months worth of paperwork for my firing and rehiring done,
Oh yeah.
just in a drawer. So he's just like, boom,
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure to sign on the dotted line again. And I'm like, all right, Jason, we doing it again?
Oh, we don't even have you sign. We already have your signature on the fax
You just have a stamp.
on the
it's
stamp.
just a signature stamp.
It just happens without you even knowing it. It's just back office shenanigans at this point.
Just getting fired and hired again.
That's why I own almost everything you make. There
Well, thank
go.
you.
That's right. Thank you, guys. All right. There. I put some paint on the model.
I'm proud of you.
You did it.
Let's get a round of applause for Jason.
I put some paint on the model.
Throwing a little bit of paint on the model. Very proud.
Take us out. I'll keep painting. I'll be the outro.
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I have really enjoyed this wonderful stream, as it so happens to be, on this wonderful Monday morning. It is still morning. Don't
is
ask
not
questions
morning.
about that.
What?
It's Monday somewhere. No, it's definitely still Monday somewhere. Oh, okay, I'm gonna continue with a real.
This is where you mute him.
Yeah. Well, thanks guys for hanging out with us. Shelby's throwing up all the links for you. You can check out the store link where you can buy all the wonderful ProCrill products and not even hobbies products that we provide free to purchase. You can also check
Free
out-
to purchase.
no.
Not free to purchase.
He just said
For
free
you.
to purchase.
I said for you to purchase.
Okay, said free to purchase.
I just said it with a little bit of slang. Don't forget to check out the FLGS link so you guys can support your local game stores as well. We always love having you guys be able to find stuff in a local place, not have to order it. It's also great if you live internationally. Find local stores around for you to buy stuff. Check out our Discord as well. Ghost Hunter has so wonderfully told us here that we have 4,475 amazing artists on the Discord,
Crazy.
and one consent is required stabber.
Wow.
All the rest of them just stab you for free.
Yeah, all the rest of them
Without your
just
consent?
stab you for free.
I don't know that that makes it a safe space, but whatever.
It is in fact a wonderful place to hang out and talk about nerd stuff.
Just watch out for knives.
And just watch out for knives. At least Ghost Hunter will ask you first. Check out our YouTube as well. You guys find all of our shorts and long form video content out there. Great place to look for tutorials and things like that. And you can see our smiling faces in all of our restreams. All of our live streams go into our live tab and are easily rewatchable. Did I miss one? I feel like I missed one. No, that's
Don't
it.
think so.
Great.
You got
Fantastic. We're going to find somebody to raid if there's anybody alive and streaming at this time of
Yes.
day. We've been having trouble with that lately.
Man, yeah, it's been thin. Slim pickings.
Super slim pickings. But we are going to find somebody. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget we stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4. We will not be streaming on Thursday because it is a holiday. We will not be in the office.
We're not.
But we are going to have our wonderful special stream on Friday. So if you are going to be attending, make sure you drop a follow and join us on Friday at 2 p.m.
Love to see you back.
See you guys later, and have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.